I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Home. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcast it like hey ya. That shit you saying now, we all know ain't make ya. So many nights was me and my notebook, no hook, no look, just me and my devils, but they so shook. Whatever it took, fuck the battle, ready for war. I ain't die, I evolved, living through these memoirs, regardless of the cost. And the gas made it this far with bars that'll last forever, like the wreck yard.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
I see dead people connect with my sixth sense. Heed no evil, get bread with my six friends. He's no diva, flexing the sick bends. Plex is a teacher, investing in big trends. Scared like a bear, disrupting the bull market. Double down shares, portfolio parking. Dow Jones average, big bank tank sharking. Elevated rank while face stays sparking. Dan John's pace, my grace will sharpen. In the biz since kids, Rosario Dawson. He got game, but he's not Jesus. Connected through the pain that is rocking through your speakers. My daughter's like a mama, but she got my features. We teach her to be strong, never gonna need ya. Like Ruth Long, she was born a leader. Underestimating the greats is the wrong procedure.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
I'm alone, but I ain't lonely. Least I got my homies. Peace is what they show me till I meet my one and only. Nothing you can loan me, no way for you to own me. Baritone in my tone, leave sopranos to tone it. My ad-lib game can compete with those on the spectrum. I ain't gon' diss them, but definitely don't respect them. Equivalent of holding the mic till you wrecked them at the crossroads with the devil at a dark intersection. Question, is the sin eaten from the tree or neglecting to realize that he is me? Can't have me on lockdown when I'm as free. Stammer through the grammar so blind can see. I ain't trying to be, cause I'm built from the cosmos. And if need be, I raise up like P.D. Pablo. Climbing from the underground cause the dirt's off. Cage bird on my chest when I take my shirt off.
Yo, what's good, party people? What's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. I'm your man, I'm your host, Uncle Freezy. It's good to be with y'all. It's good to see you. It's good to see y'all. Let me do the roll call real quick. Roll call. Roll call. Wayne Peterson is in the building. What's good? I see you. Felipe 210. Thanks for checking on the brother. I appreciate you, bro. Felipe 210 in the building. Robert Paul was good. South Brooklyn was good. Nick DeWitt was good. Hey, City for real. If I had an air horn, I would be pumping that horn right now, bro. Ben, City for real. Was good. L. Jordan in the building. Was good. I see y'all. Hey, Bob Teflar, what's good? Who is this? This is Uncle Freezy. Who is this? What's good? This good. This good. This is Uncle Freezy. You talking about the song? This song, hey, that's Divine Sons, the Invisible People. Invisible People by Divine Sons. That's who that is. That's dope. I'm sorry about misunderstanding your question. I thought you were asking who am I? Like, who's Uncle Freezy? Everybody know Uncle Freezy, baby. Tone Woo was good. Was good, Tone Woo. Was good. Was good. Bodega Wi-Fi is in the building. Was good. Was good. Was good. Good to see y'all. Wilson Ding was good. But I'll tell you. Yo. Alton Lee was good. Was good. Was good. Yeah, that joint gets me fired up. Hey, that joint gets me fired up, man. No lie. No lie. Rodolfo is Irizarry was good. Was good. Okay, I see you. I see you. I see you. What's good, y'all? Hey, man, I missed y'all the last couple days, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna lie. Let's not even. I ain't even gonna come on here in front like I'm a superstar or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I legit missed y'all, man. Last night went by. I was like, man, this don't even feel right. Me not being with y'all twice a day don't even feel right. You know what I'm saying? That don't even feel right. You know what I mean? We got a routine, and I be trying to stick to it. Yo, I'm telling for real. Tone Woo. Yo, I got a lot of stuff that I want to get to in case y'all. I know y'all can imagine. I have a lot of stuff that I want to get to with y'all. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I want to get to. I want to touch on some weird Knicks narratives. You know what I'm saying? I want to get to some weird Knicks narratives, some that I had been seeing. I also want to get to just some stuff that I had on my mind that I didn't get a chance to share with y'all. You know, I want to get some. I legit want to hear what y'all have to say, right? Because I don't do this just for me now. I do this because I be wanting to listen to y'all too. You know what I'm saying? I want to get y'all thoughts on a bunch of stuff. Yo, is this who I think it is? Is this who I think it is? Chris Chang is in the building. What's good? What's good, Chris Chang? What's happening? I legit want to get y'all thoughts on a bunch of stuff. You know, a bunch of these things, some weird narratives, man, since Thursday afternoon. Since we didn't do anything big, major at the trade deadline, people are legit backing up off the words that they said. And I don't appreciate that. Right? What I feel like is this. If you said it, own it. Right? If you said it, own it. Don't back up because things didn't go your way. I ain't like that. Y'all know that. Because we've had plenty of conversations over the last few months where I said some stuff and it didn't go my way and I still owned it. Like legit, I said 42. What did I say? 42 and 30. The Knicks record. I ain't backing off of that. I'm not. I'm owning it because in the moment when y'all asked, that was what I was feeling, right? At the time. And so I'm gonna own that. I'm like, hey, but yeah, I did say 42 and 30. So first of all, we get on here and only saw like 2 or 3 let's go Knicks. How about we say put some let's go Knicks in the chat? How about that? How about we start with that? What's good? What's good? What's good? Let's put some. How about we do that? How about we put some let's go Knicks in the chat? Right? How about we put some let's go Knicks in the chat, man? How about we get excited about our team? How about we done won 2 in a row? Right? Frederick, what's good? Let's go Knicks. Y'all want me to start it? Y'all want me to start? I'll put let's go Knicks in the chat. Is 3 or 4 exclamation points enough? Is that enough? Yo, how about I start it? Yeah, I'll put him in there. Yeah. David, Mr. You Don't Know Me, what's good? What's good? What's good, my brother? What's good? Point five in the building. What's good? What's good? Yeah, man. Let's go Knicks. How about we do that, man? All this stuff going on in the NBA, and Knicks fans are legit excited about where we are right now. Cats will be like, yo, man, hey, I would, but I don't want y'all to think I'm a homer. Dude, you a fan of the Knicks, so what? Cat's like, I don't want to sound like a homer. Hey, dog, this your team, bro. This is your team. This is your team, bro. I don't want to sound like a homer for Burger King. That's just a restaurant. I don't want to sound like a homer for Nike. It's just shoes. But my team, come on, man. Come on, man. What are we doing right here? What are we doing? Y'all get fired up, man. Y'all get fired up. What's up, G Monies? What's good? What's good? Yeah, man. Mama said don't trust you. Let's go Knicks, man. How about that? Because we have a lot of people doing the other thing. They get on national TV shows. You know what I'm saying? They be directing movies. They all popular. They had season tickets for 1,000 years. And then the first chance they get, they get on national TV and be like, yo, I ain't bashing the Knicks. I just got a problem with the owner. Hey, dog, they all go together. You bashing the owner, the front office, the coaching staff, the roster, the fans. We all go together, dog. It's hand in glove. It's hand in glove, doofus. You just won. You just in the family. Clown. Who the dude that the guy, I forget his name, Spike Lee. Spike Lee. Yeah, don't do that, Spike Lee. Do the right thing, Spike Lee. How about that? Let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks. I want to talk to y'all about the Bucks game tonight, right? Are y'all excited about the Bucks? About seeing the Bucks? I want to talk to y'all about. Are y'all excited about them? Y'all excited about that? Somebody let me see a yeah if y'all excited about this Bucks game tonight. Let me know what y'all think. Somebody put something out there, man. How y'all feel about the Bucks? Rodolfo Irizarry, Knicks for life. Let's go Knicks. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get that energy up, man. We ain't gonna let no weird random joint people personalities affect how we feel about the Knicks. We like the Knicks. We love the Knicks. And we love being around each other. And I ain't about to let no random celebrity with an axe to grind affect how I feel and how I root for my favorite team. Okay. I ain't about to let that happen, right? And we do this, we get together, we fellowship. Like right now, we just started. There's 42 people in here. And I'm glad, listen, for the 42 of y'all, and it may include me, for whatever. The 42 of y'all, hey man, this is a fellowship, bro. Well, what we do right here, when we get together, when we rock together, this is a fellowship. This is not no made up joint like some weird thing where it's like something weird. Nah, this is a fellowship. We get together and we kick it. We kicking it right now. We kicking it on a Saturday afternoon, even though the name of the show is Knicks Morning Drive, by the way. You know what I'm saying? But y'all pardon me for that. You know what I'm saying? But we legit sitting here kicking it, and that's what we're gonna do. It's Knicks fans fellowshipping about our squad, and we're gonna keep doing that. Shout out to the Knicks, to the cats on the roster, and shout out to the people that's in here. You know what I'm saying? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? So I had me a little agenda prep that I want to go by. So what I want to do is I want to talk to y'all first about the Milwaukee Bucks game preview. I want to touch a little bit on Giannis after the Bucks preview. I want to talk a little bit about Giannis and what he means to the NBA right now. Want to talk to y'all after that. I want to talk to y'all about the trade deadline fiasco, and I also want to talk about Carmelo Anthony a little bit. Right after all of that stuff, man, we could just do whatever. But I wanted to talk to y'all about those four things and get your feedback on those. And the reason why I want to get your feedback on those is because some stuff we talk about may not be relevant, and some stuff we talk about may not be relevant in terms of what's happening today. And so, you know what I mean? Like if we keep saying Elfrid Payton can't shoot, it don't drive the conversation. You know what I'm saying? I want to touch on some things that'll drive the conversation and have us legit be, you know what I'm saying, legit have conversations that matter to the masses, you know. And sometimes we have to when we do that, sometimes we have to organize ourselves a little bit in order to have a conversation that affects the most people, right? Chicago in the chat is still the morning here. Salute. Yeah, hey, shout out to everybody. Shout out to people in different places and different spaces. You know what I'm saying? People with different faces, people of different races. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? We be wanting everybody to come in and join the chat. So yeah, so shout out to people from everywhere and people that are everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So the one thing we do is like this right here is a motley crew of individuals. Like all of us are legit different. You know what I'm saying? From different places and stuff. And we all just, come here and meet, chop it up. But listen, how do y'all feel about this Bucks game tonight? I don't know. I'm in a weird place with the game tonight, right? I'm legit in a weird place. Dom, what's good?
What's up, Uncle Freezy?
How you doing?
Doing great, man. I am doing great, man. How about you?
Good. The energy. Ah, look at Dom. I see you, Dom. I see you.
Hey, even though the Wizards are my favorite team, I got to come in and support the Knicks.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you. Man, I've been a Knicks fan, a hardcore Knicks fan since like 1975, 76-ish, somewhere in there. Like you know how you when you're young, you root for a team, like everybody is rooting for a team or whatever. But then there comes a day that you actually flat out just pick your team. And so it was probably about 70, something like that.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, which MLB team do you have on the front of that hat? I want to see it.
It's Mets.
Oh, I knew it.
Yes. It's so I've been a legit hardcore Mets fan since about 77-ish, 78. And
yeah, that is true. And I'm doing an MLB fantasy, and I have like 2 or 3 Mets players on my fantasy.
Really? Who do you have?
Let me see here. Let me check. I've got Michael Conforto.
Oh wow, okay.
Pete Alonso and Jacob deGrom.
Oh wow. Yeah, you're probably winning this year.
Yeah, probably. This is my first time doing a MLB fantasy, and I have 3 Mets players on there. Those are the 3 I have.
Wow. So Pete Alonso looks good. So he may be the sleeper out of that bunch that you have. Yeah, he looks really good this spring. Really, really good. So,
yeah, and I've been on Nothing But Knicks live streams twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Yeah, Nothing But Knicks.
Yeah, send me, and that's my brother, man. That's my brother. Yeah, that is my brother, man. I love that dude with all my heart. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's
man.
odd. It's odd for dudes to say that about another dude, but that's my guy. That's legit. You know what I'm saying? My guy right there. So, but yeah, man. This Bucks team is coming in. I think they are red hot right now.
Yes, they are.
I think they. I don't know how many games they won. They've won in the last 10, but that is my barometer of who is hot and who is not. When you look at, let me see here. Let me go to standings. The Bucks are 8-2 in their last 10 games. The Sixers are 9-1. The Brooklyn Nets are 8-2. So you know what? I feel a lot better about where we are as an organization because we lost to the Sixers and Brooklyn, and they're hot as fish grease right now. And
that's true. And also, guess who my Wizards play tonight at 8 p.m.?
Let me take the Lakers.
Get playing. No, they're playing the Pistons at home today.
Oh, well, good. Good. That should be a W for y'all.
Yeah, that should be an easy dub.
That should be because the teams are headed in opposite directions. So the teams are headed in opposite directions, or at least it seems that way. It seems as if that is where they're headed. G Money is in the building.
What's up, G Money?
What's going on, Dominique and Uncle Freeze?
Hey, man.
Here comes the money. Money talks. Here comes the money.
Yes, sir, man. So big game. We're trying to go deer hunting tonight.
Yeah, man. We are deer hunting tonight.
If I had to be honest, I think the Knicks will win Monday against the Heat, who have lost 6 in a row. But I gotta be honest with myself. I don't think we'll win tonight. I got the Bucks. I want to pick the Knicks, but I don't see it. Milwaukee came with a tough loss to Boston. They're gonna come out with fire. And lifetime, even if the Knicks do play hard every game, we struggle in Milwaukee lifetime. I don't see us winning tonight because we got to guard that 3-point line. So
right, and Julius Randle is hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt, so that's another thing.
Yeah.
I think he'll play, but
right. Yeah, with Randle hurt, with the Bucks losing, I could see a scenario where we come out and be competitive. But the Bucks pull away from us and maybe win. I could envision a scenario where we lose by 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 against the Bucks, right?
True.
But I could also see us taking them into deep water. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe us being competitive with them late. I'm not guaranteeing a win. That's not what I'm saying because I think we're undermanned.
Milwaukee's too deep. Also, that shooting though, and like I said, they just lost to Boston, so they're gonna come out with anger. So, and remember, we're only half game back of Charlotte for that 4 because Charlotte just beat Miami. So I know it's gonna be a tough game, but for us to make the playoffs, at some point we have to beat a top level team at full strength at some point.
Right. So why do you say that?
Why? Because it's like why I say we have to be a top level team? Because that's what playoff teams do. Yes, we have to beat the bad teams, but to beat the upper echelon teams, to be a playoff team, we have to show the upper echelon teams like the Bucks, the Nets, or the teams like that if we do see them in the playoffs, it will not be a cakewalk. So that's what I'm saying. Because it's like, yes, we got to beat the Timberwolves, teams like that, but we have to some point beat the Bucks, which we did early in the year, and we have to some point beat the Nets to show that we are not a pushover. I know we're a good team, but I'm just saying. So that's what I'm saying.
So let me ask you this, because that's a very good statement. Both of them are, right? And so I want to ask a question because I want to kind of do a deep dive into the reason why you made that statement. So I'm going to ask this question, right? And it's to the first point that you made. And this is for the Knicks fans that are watching. Why is it important for us to beat a upper echelon team when, and this is a long-winded question, when all wins matter? Say, for instance, I think we can make the playoffs by
Here.
beating all the lower level teams and compiling W's and making the playoffs. So is it important for us to beat upper echelon teams so that we can prove to the fans that this roster does have a legit puncher's chance to knock off somebody in the playoffs? Or is it to prove to the NBA teams that you just can't walk in here and throw your jersey on the floor and think you're going to mop us?
The second part, that's what I said. I think, look, yes, we have to beat the bad teams. I'm not denying that. We have to beat the teams we're supposed to beat. What I'm saying is that later in the schedule, when we have the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Suns, teams like that, we have no choice but to come out with fire and beat some of those teams. We have no choice
Right.
because not every game we're going to play bad teams. Not every game we're going to play lower echelon teams. At some point, you got to beat some top level teams. It's true.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I understand. I understand what you said, but I think it was more to it than what you said because I feel like the your statement also reaches out to the fans, right? And the reason
Mhm.
why I say that is because at the trade deadline, the Knicks front office basically did nothing at the
Pretty
trade
much.
deadline.
I think it's Terrence Ferguson. Like, really?
That ain't really, unless Terrence Ferguson turns into the Terrence Ferguson that we thought he was going to be when Oklahoma City drafted him.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But at this point, I think the Knicks knocking off the Bucks proves the thought of the front office and the coaching staff that this Knicks roster is a lot better than what Knicks fans and the national media give them credit for, and
Okay.
that they could go up against anybody and win. And not only do I think that's a legit statement to at least look at, investigate, they've done it. This Knicks roster, right, is currently constructed, has before Derrick Rose, they beat the Utah Jazz and the Milwaukee Bucks
That
before
is
adding
true. I'll
Derrick
give you
Rose,
that.
right?
Okay. True.
And so now that you mention it, now that you put it out there, I think it's the front office doubling down on the fact that they think this roster can go up against anybody and win. And not only do they feel that way, but Tom Thibodeau said the other day like he loves this roster and he loves going to battle with it.
Mm-hmm.
He said that Thursday after the Knicks did absolutely nothing at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So when you say that, when you said that, I was thinking, like, man, this is multi-pronged. Like this is legit. The front office does believe in this roster and doesn't just want to disrupt the chemistry.
Right. Personally, for me, I wish we had like a T. Ross or 48 or somebody like that. I mean, I'm not saying we have to have a superstar now. That's not what I'm saying. But at some point, I don't know what Leon Rose saw in Frank or Kevin Knox saying that we have to keep him around. I don't understand that. Personally, for me, I would have gone like Evan Fournier. I mean, dang it, Boston traded 2 picks to get him. Think about that.
Two
Two
second
second
round
round
picks.
picks to get
Yeah,
48.
right. No doubt. No doubt. So City for Real, thank you for the super chat. City for Real says, yo, shout out to all watching in the chat. Let's go. Man, listen. Teams already know they ain't coming in the garden and flipping water bottles anymore. Our heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. Facts. You ain't coming in here flipping water bottles no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't having it. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's just where we are, right? But here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. Here's the thing, too, though. I do wish we could have added a player at the trade deadline because
Yeah.
I think right now we are walking wounded, and a lot of teams are walking wounded. But other teams that are walking wounded have leeway where you know what I'm saying guys can step in. It's the next man up, and
Mm-hmm.
and they feel like for instance Milwaukee. If Giannis misses a game,
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee can legit go out without Giannis and still
Mm-hmm.
be competitive against any team in the NBA.
True. They have enough
Right,
depth. It's shooting.
right,
Yep. And
right. So
defense.
right. And so the Knicks, without Julius Randle, if you take out our best player, I don't know if we have a puncher's chance, a fighting chance against most teams in the NBA. And I'm saying that knowing that I like the roster, but I'm saying that with the mindset that I don't know if you take Randall, say for instance, if Randall and RJ miss a game together, do you like your chances against anybody in the league?
It depends on the matchup. It depends on the matchup. If we play like the great teams like the Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, teams like that, without Randall and RJ, no way we have a shot. But if we play teams like the Timberwolves or the Rockets and Cavs, teams like that, then I think we still have a shot.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. And the reason why I said that though is to say this. I think adding an Evan Fournier would have legit boosted us. It's not like we didn't have 2 second-round picks we could give. You know what I mean? Do the Knicks value Reggie Bullock that much? I like Reggie Bullock, by the way. He's not my favorite Knick right now, but I like what he brings to the table. Right? I like a defender, even though he's small. Reggie Bullock is a small 6'6" guard, right? He's a small 6'6" guard, like 6'6". I think they said he. Let me check ESPN right now to see how big Reggie Bullock is. I'm just going to do this real quick because I think he's a small guard. Because he looks slight to me. He doesn't look like a beefy guard. Okay, so ESPN has Reggie Bullock at 6'6", 205. Okay. Yeah, they have him at 6'6", 205. I thought one time they had him at a different height and weight. But yeah, but he looks like a smaller guard to me, slight. He doesn't give you the impression like him and RJ Barrett are about the same height. You know what I'm saying? But RJ Barrett looks like a beefy guard, like a jumbo guard. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I don't know how much Reggie Bullock will be able to take the pounding of all 72 games plus some playoff games. Is what I'm getting at. So.
Yeah, but seriously, you really still think this team's gonna win 42 games? We had to go 19-8 to finish the season.
Is it impossible?
I'm not saying it's impossible. It could very well happen. If I had to be a betting man, I'd say like 38 wins around that. 37, 38 wins, I had to be a betting man. Right. I don't see 42. I could be wrong because, again, it is the regular season we talk about here. But I don't see 42. I say like 37, 38 wins. That's what I think.
Right. Well, what I would say is this: if we had bolstered the roster at the trade deadline, I'd be a lot more comfortable with that prediction. But what I'm saying is so back in October, looking at this roster, I said 42 and 30, and I don't want to back off because guys in my position, it's easy for guys in my position, right, to say, yeah, make excuses. Yeah, I thought such and such. Man, the Knicks didn't do, and so I don't want to get into that because I feel like you owe it to the people that if you say something, man, own it. You know what I mean? Like you can't take credit for all the stuff you get right, and then the things you get wrong, you make excuses.
It's true.
You know what I mean? I don't
respect that. I don't respect that. You got to own up. People have to own up to their mistakes and be honest.
Right, like legit. Me and this guy Raphael got Moses and Elijah that comes on the show every now and then. Right, he and I legit talked about Julius Randle's 20 and 10 from last year. Right, and I was telling people 20 and 10 is not easy stats to get in the NBA, and people were like they were empty stats. Right?
They said they were empty stats this year. What? This team's a
no. Last year's.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying back in October is what I'm saying. Before Julius Randle made this step.
Okay.
Right. They were saying that those numbers were empty stats, and I told them that 20 and 10 is not easy to get, and they were like, "Well, it's not 20 and 10. He had 19 and a half points and 9.7 rebounds. Bro, it's 20 and 10. Come on, man. Stop being ridiculous. Stop with the Julius Randle hate. They were like, no, it's 19 and 9. No, man. In school, we were taught anything above 0.5 round up, right? And so the thing is, let me get to this super chat by Quiet Money real quick. Quiet Money is in the building. Quiet Money, what's good, bro? Hey, Quiet Money, we love you, dog. Quiet Money, I know you listen. Hey, we love you, doc. When you gonna come back on the Knicks at Night podcast? What's happening? I know you're busy. Quiet Money. But I'm just saying. So, but yeah, Julius Randle averaged I think it's 19 and a half and 9.7 rebounds, or vice versa, like 19.7 points and 9. Either way, it was 20 and 10, right? And people were like, "Well, those were empty stats." And I'm here to tell people, you can't put up empty stats in the NBA. I'll give you an example. If 19 and 10 or 20 and 10 is easy to get, what's Obi's excuse?
Obi, I mean, you have good points, but at the same time, I always say this. Yeah, you have some good points, but if you're not winning, I mean, the team's winning now, but I'm saying this: if you're not winning, right, and then what does those numbers really mean? Like, here's an example, right? 2014 NBA Finals, Heat Spurs. LeBron fans like saying, "Oh, LeBron had a great Finals," but they don't tell you the fact that games 3 through 5. LeBron scored 51 out of his total 81 points when Miami was getting blown out, 15 when they're down 15 or more. Okay, I always say this: numbers don't tell the story. It's your eye test. It's how does it impact? Does it have impact in the game? That's what I'm saying. I don't look at numbers. I look about wins. I look about when did you score? When did you pass? When did you rebound? Did it have any impact? So yes, you may not think stats are not empty, but to me, if you're not winning and you're not getting it done down the stretch of games, then what's the numbers mean? Then your stats don't mean anything. Then what's the numbers mean?
But G Money, listen to who he was passing the ball out to. Okay, all right. So for one, the stats that he was putting up, I mean, you get into the Hall of Fame based on numbers. You know what I'm saying? And I understand impact because I think impact should be first and numbers should be second, right? But bro, Julius Randle was legit on the floor at times with 4 dudes that couldn't shoot. There were times when he would be on the floor with Taj Gibson, Mo Harkless, RJ Barrett, and Elfrid Payton. Right? And I know when you look back on it in hindsight, well, you're like, well, RJ can shoot. Last year, RJ Barrett wasn't a shooter, bro.
Yeah, he couldn't he couldn't hit shots like now. Right now, he's lining it up, but last year, I won't kill RJ too much. He was a rookie, but last year RJ didn't shoot with confidence. This year, he's shooting much more confidence.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. Like Julius Randle legit was on the floor with guys that couldn't score. Right. And so that made it even harder for Julius Randle being the only scorer on the floor. Right. And so when you talk about empty stats, if his stats were so empty, how come the other guys on the floor with him didn't get empty stats? You know what I'm saying? How come Elfrid Payton didn't pad his stats then? Or Mo Harkless? How come Mo Harkless didn't pad his stats? Or RJ Barrett? How come RJ Barrett didn't pad his stats? Or Taj Gibson? How come Taj Gibson didn't pad his stats? And you take out Taj Gibson and you bring in Mitchell Robinson. How come Mitchell Robinson didn't pad his stats? You take out RJ Barrett and bring in Wayne Ellington, Reggie Bullock. How come they didn't pad their stats? How come Frank Ntilikina didn't pad his stats when you took out Elfrid Payton? You know what I'm saying? So the narrative for Julius Randle to me was unfair the whole time, right? Like people saying he was putting up empty stats, but nobody else on the roster could do it, right? So at some point, we have to give Julius Randle credit for at least doing something. 20 and 10. If RJ Barrett averaged 20 and 10 last year, we would have anointed him the second coming. Right? What about Bobby Portis? You remember Bobby Portis?
Yeah, I remember Bobby Portis was on the team. He hit some big shots. Yeah,
he hit some big shots in revenge games, but in other games he disappeared.
It's true.
Like Bobby Portis against Chicago. Bobby Portis he lit it up against Chicago.
He did.
Bobby Portis against the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? He had a good game against the Wizards, right? So, but what about Bobby Portis in those games? We needed a secondary scorer. Where was Bobby Portis?
Yeah, nowhere to be found. Yeah,
right. So we blame Julius Randle like he put up empty stats, and then another the reason why Raphael got him was and Elijah looks like a genius is because he said last year Julius Randle. Last year's Julius Randle, and he said it. This is early October too. Early October, he was like, "Hey, Uncle Freezy, what do you think about Julius Randle this year?" And I was like, "Yo, Julius Randle is gonna be an all-star this year. It's on tape." I said it for like 2 weeks straight. I was like, "Yo, Julius Randle is gonna be an all-star this year." And people were like, "Well, you also said 42 and 30." Whatever, But the thing is I thought Julius Randle could have been an all-star last year. Was definitely an all-star this year, right? The reason being is because Randle looked to pass last year, and he was kicking out to dudes at the 3-point line named Alfred Payton, dudes named R.J. Barrett, dudes named Mo Harkless, right? I mean, think about it. That's disgusting. What are they even doing at the 3-point line? Those guys. What are they even doing at the 3-point line? They are not 3-point shooters.
But in my opinion, here's what I thought about Randle. Randle's a good player, right? He's always been a good player. In my opinion, I like this year's Randle than last year's Randle. All right. This year's Randle is playing much more fluent. He knows how to figure out double teams. He's moving the ball even better. He's making clutch shots now. And the fact that this year's Randle even is showing a bit more IQ now compared to last year. Last year's Randle, in my opinion, again, I'm not disrespecting Randle as a player. I'm not. But I'm saying is that when I watched him last year, I felt he was trying to do too much. He was trying to drive through double teams and stuff. And the fact that I felt that there were times when we need... I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that there was a lot of times last year when he was very inconsistent. That is why I think Randle this year has been more consistent. And in my opinion, this year, this has been his best year by far. And that's why I prefer this year's Randle than last year's Randle. Last year's Randle, I know you like looking at numbers, but when you watch the game, some people do have a point when he had empty stats last year. Some people do have a point because it's like, we only won 21 games last year. And also the fact that I'm not saying it's all his fault. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that there were times when he turned the ball over like crazy, trying to dribble too much, trying to take erratic shots. And that's and he didn't trust and rely on his teammates last year like he's doing now. Now this year he's relying more on his teammates. And this year he's becoming more of a leader. That's why people do have a point when Randle had empty stats last year. I'm not disrespecting Randle. I'm not. He's a good player. But I'm just saying that we gotta be honest into what we've seen. I can't just look at your numbers. I look at, did it have an impact in winning? When did you put up these numbers? Did you take over the game when we need you to? It's not just stats. It's about eye tests, context, impact. And that's what I'm saying. And again, I'm not disrespecting Randle. He's a good player. But to me, this year's Randle has shown much more leadership and consistency, and he's not compared to last year. Last year's Randle, you didn't know which game he was going to show up at. So that's what I'm saying. So yes, in my opinion, no disrespect to Randle, he kind of did put up empty stats, in my opinion.
You still say empty stats. Okay.
In my opinion, yes.
So G-Man, let me quiz you then. Because listen, I'm not above changing my stance, right? If I'm proven wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll change my stance because my main goal is to be right and to do the right thing all the time, right? But let me ask you this.
All right.
Who was last year's on this roster? Who was last year's Emmanuel Quickly?
You do have a point. Nobody.
Right. Okay. So who was last year's Derrick Rose?
Yeah, you're right. But I'm asking
Right.
you.
So
Did you see Randall play
let-
great last year? That's what you're saying? He played great last year? That's what
no,
you're
no,
telling me?
no. What I'm saying is the entire situation was bad. And you know how I know it was bad?
Uh-huh.
Because you fired the coach in the middle of the season last year,
David Fisdale,
right? And then the coach that took over for him
Mike Miller.
is no longer in the organization.
Yeah, he's on the Thunder now. Yeah.
Right, right. So just to say, well, Randall put up empty stats to me is not fair.
I'm not saying this all his
Because
fault. I
no,
never
no,
said it
no,
was.
no, I feel you. I understand where you are, and it was it's a good thought. It was a great measured thought. I'm not discrediting what you said. What I'm saying is what I'm expressing to you is my belief, like you express your belief. That's all I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to discredit it. It's not, we're not fighting. You know what I'm saying? You and I are not fighting. We may not even be disagreeing. We're just stating.
I'll be back.
Okay. So last year we could say Julius Randle put up empty stats, right? But who's a better in-game strategist? Tom Thibodeau and his coaching staff, or David Fisdale and his coaching staff, or Mike Miller and his coaching staff? Somebody answer that for me. Who's a better in-game strategist? Tom Thibodeau and his coaching staff, or Mike Miller and his coaching staff, or David Fisdale and his coaching staff? Somebody answer that for me, right? Right. And also, since we were talking about the empty stats, what version of RJ Barrett do you like better? Do you like last year's RJ Barrett, rookie RJ Barrett, or do you like second year RJ Barrett? Somebody answer that for me. Right. And also, furthermore, who do you prefer better? Reggie Bullock or Mo Harkless? Somebody answer that for me. Who would you prefer? Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks, or Wayne Ellington, Mo Harkless, that combination last year, right? So I'm asking you this question because Julius Randle's progression is not just, say, pixie dust. He didn't just become an all-star through 9 months of hard work in the gym. That's what we want to blame it on, or count it, or equate it to, right? I'm here to tell you that if Julius Randle had this roster last year, you would have seen these numbers last year. Is what I'm getting at. I know Julius Randle had a bad year. I'm not saying that he didn't have a bad year, but I'm saying it started bad and only got worse in terms of his leadership. But when Mike Miller took over as head coach after David Fisdale got canned, when Mike Miller took over, Julius Randle was putting up similar numbers last year under Mike Miller than he is right now. Under David Fisdale, Julius Randle was like 16 points, 8 rebounds, and was frustrated, right? Mike Miller comes in, the dude averages 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. Stop me if those numbers sound familiar, right? So I'm not saying that Julius Randle didn't make a step, because he did. He made a legit progression. The 3-point ball for Julius Randle is falling, right? It's wet right now, right? He has go-to moves now, right? So those are the things that he learned in that 9 months being off, right? Right. So those 9 months that was it 9 months? Whatever it is, they keep saying 9 months, whatever the time frame was that the NBA was off. Julius Randle got better, right? But let's not say last year's Julius Randle, the effort that he put in was whack. Let's not say he was out there playing for nothing, right? Because here's the thing, and I'm gonna draw a comparison, right? Draw a parallel to another player, right? And y'all were begging to get this dude. Y'all begging, please, Leon Rose, go get him. But when your boy was doing it, you were like empty stats. So Bradley Beal. People on here were legit like, oh my God, please go get Bradley Beal. Please go get Bradley Beal. Please go get a guy that plays the same position as your high-priced rookie. Not high-priced, I'm sorry, highly prized rookie. Y'all were legit like, oh, we got to get Bradley Beal. Right? And he plays the same position as your highly prized, highly coveted rookie. Right? But people on here were legit, oh, we got to get Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal. And they play the same position as your highly prized, highly coveted rookie. Right? Who is on a high, and by the way, if you look at numbers, he's on a higher trajectory than those two dudes that I just mentioned. At age 20, RJ Barrett is better than Zach LaVine at 20 and better than Bradley Beal at 20. Right?
Right.
But here's the thing. When Bradley Beal puts up his numbers for a different team, right? They got the same results or similar results as the Knicks last year. People were saying, oh, you got to go. And this is this year now because the Wizards suck.
They're not good. Yes.
Right. But people are like, yo, we got to go get Bradley Beal. He could do such and such and such and such and such. Nobody is saying Bradley Beal's putting up empty stats. But Julius Randle
some people are. That's a lie. Some people are. It's true.
No, I hadn't seen them. Point them out.
It don't matter if you didn't see him. Some people are.
You just said it was a lie. If I'm lying, point it out. Point out where I'm lying at.
I'm just saying, like, think about this. Oh, okay. You're just only looking at numbers with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal can score the ball.
No, I'm looking at impact. I just said the Wizards suck.
No, I agree. The Wizards do suck. They're 15.
So I'm pointing out numbers and impact. That's what we started this conversation on, numbers and impact. And I said impact first and numbers second.
Okay.
Right. So what I'm saying is with Bradley Beal is this. His impact on a team is garbage. And people still wanted Bradley Beal here.
I mean, that's true. Personally, for me, I just want we don't need to start now. We don't. We just need to just rebuild slowly before we think about it. So personally, for me, if we had an opportunity, and I doubt this, I would hope we get Kawhi Leonard. That's what I wish we had. I would hope to get Kawhi Leonard, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because Kawhi Leonard, not only is he putting up but I know last year the Clippers struggled in the playoffs. That's true. But at the same time, Kawhi Leonard did lead struggling Raptors team that could never get it done to the promised land. So
to a championship,
To a championship. If we had a Kawhi Leonard on this team could do wonders because Kawhi can defend. He can hit the three. He can create his own shot. He's athletic, and he's impactful. Kawhi Leonard is impactful. If we had a Kawhi Leonard on this team could really – I don't know if we would win a title. I don't know about that, but this team would at least scare Philly, Brooklyn, Milwaukee a little bit if we had a Kawhi Leonard because he can also he's also a two-way player. That's what I like, a two-way player. Bradley Beal, I would not be mad if we had Bradley Beal because he can score the rock, and same with Zach LaVine. But down the stretch of games, are you going to rely on them to consistently close down the stretch of games because they don't show consistent IQ? That's what I'm saying. Example, look at the Wizards game. Bradley Beal was 8 for 23. He down the stretch of the game, he struggled, and so did Russell Westbrook.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. So personally, for me, I would try to go after Kawhi Leonard. I don't think Kawhi is going to come here, but if the Clippers don't go far, you never know, he might.
Right. Right. And so the thing with I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front. The thing with Bradley Beal is at some point early in the year, I thought that adding Bradley Beal would help us. Right. If we didn't gut the core that we already have, and two, he came here as a complimentary piece. Like legit played with Randall and RJ and didn't come here to try to brighten his star, so to speak. You know how people want to come to New York to brighten their star, right? They're legit. I'm already a star. I want to come to New York and be a superstar, right? And I'll give you an example of that. Derek Williams was a bust, right? Remember Derek Williams, the number 2
Derek
pick in the
Williams,
draft?
yeah.
Yeah, remember he was the number 2 pick in the draft, right? He had the game against Duke where he stroked all those 3-pointers in the Final Four, and people thought legit he was going to be the next Carmelo Anthony, right? And because he did all these things, like he could score easily, you know what I'm saying? He was athletic, he was more athletic, but he wound up being a bust, right? He came here, he came to New York and I think he hit a big shot in back-to-back games with the Knicks, right? And I don't remember if we won or lost, but he had an impact. The next thing you know, this dude wants to be the man. And we're like, Derek Williams, nah, bro, you're a journeyman. You're a journeyman. You came here and hit 2 big shots. You are not going to be the captain of this team. Get out of here, Derek Williams. You know what I'm saying? You hit 2 big shots. Hey, man, yeah, we're glad you did, because that's what winning basketball is about. But where is Derek Williams right now? That was 5 years ago. We got a young Derek Williams 5 years ago, right? And legit, where is Derek Williams at right now?
Not in the league,
right? And so we got a dude that was also the number 2 pick in the draft named Michael Beasley, right? Michael Beasley was not a bust, but a very good. He was a good scorer, but he didn't turn out to be what people thought he should have been, right? He came here and hit a few shots and said he is the left-handed Carmelo Anthony. Really, Michael Beasley? Michael Beasley was like, yeah, I'm the left-handed. When you look in the mirror, you see when Melo looks in the mirror, he sees Michael Beasley. Remember those stupid quotes? Where's Michael Beasley at right now?
Not in the league.
Right. What I'm saying is, the point I'm getting at is people come to New York to get their star brighter, right? So if Bradley Beal had come here to be a complimentary player, you know what I'm saying, to facilitate, you know, to hit shots, to defend, to buy into the total team concept, then I could dig it. But him averaging 32 points a game for the Wizards, come on, Bradley Beal. We know what this is. We know what that is. We know that's Bradley Beal just, you know, looking to brighten his star on a team that's garbage. Him and Russell Westbrook together,
it doesn't mesh.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Him and Russell Westbrook together should not be that bad. That team should not be that bad when you have an all-star backcourt. It lets me know that Bradley Beal is not the guy. Because when Bradley Beal played alongside John Wall, when John Wall was the man in DC and Bradley Beal was Robin, that team was making the playoffs. When John Wall got hurt and Bradley Beal had to take on the load, that team was in the lottery.
Yeah, true. But at the same time, the whole Michael Beasley, Carmelo Anthony, look, Melo, look, you have a good point, but the more I think about it, I would not compare Beasley to Melo. I won't do that. Melo has more of a versatile style than Michael Beasley. So that to see, they both had 2 different player styles.
That's what Michael Beasley said. That wasn't me doing it. That's what Michael Beasley said out of his own mouth.
Oh, okay.
That's what Michael Beasley said. That was my point. That's the point I'm getting at. Like I ain't disrespecting Carmelo Anthony like that, comparing him to Michael Beasley. You know what I'm saying? That's what Michael Beasley said. You know what I mean? I mean, that's why you know, it's a few things. It's a few things, you know. Hey, so Esoteric Multimedia Productions. The logic between Beasley, Williams, and Melo is not one that I stated as my opinion. That's one I'm using as fact. Derek Williams came here, got a little bit of shine. You remember Michael? You remember those years? It's the Quincy AC, Cole Aldridge, Derek Williams years.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Aaron Aflalo and all of them. Yeah. That's not me saying that Derek Williams should have been the man. That's Derek Williams wanting to have a bigger role in the organization. That's on record. You know what I'm saying? That's not me drumming up some stuff. Because think about this. What Knicks fan in their right mind would say, I want Derek Williams to be the star of the team? That's crazy. That's loony talk, right? That's loony talk. That's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is cats that do want to come here, that do want to take on a challenge, they want to be a star here. They want to raise their personal profile as opposed to impact winning. The only person, the only two people that I know that want to come here, legit wanted to come to New York, right? New York was their number one option, was Amari Stoudemire and RJ Barrett. The other free agents, even Julius Randle, and I don't know this to be exactly true. I don't know if it's totally perfect, but I believe if Julius Randle had more options, I don't know if the Knicks he would have signed with the Knicks, right? If other teams were calling, like instead of him having two offers, come back to New Orleans and be the backup power forward, or come to New York and be the starting power forward. We'll try to get you to the All-Star game. How can you turn that down?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the only two players I remember hearing from Go say they want to come to New York and they want to turn this thing around is Amari Stoudemire and RJ Barrett. That's it. And how could you not fall in love with RJ Barrett with him saying that stuff before the draft? They asked RJ Barrett, hey RJ Barrett, I know you shouldn't say this before the draft, you know what I'm saying? But who would you prefer? He was like, yo, of course, I respect all teams, and I would be willing to give it all for all my teams. But my mom's went to St. John's, and my grandfather was a lifelong Knicks fan, right?
Right.
So just by him saying that, you're like, oh snap, this dude want to be a Knick.
True.
Dude, the dude, like, yeah. My mom Keisha ran track for St. John's, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, my mom Keisha ran track for St. John's, and my grandfather was a lifelong Knicks fan. He's from Brooklyn, right? And then people were like, oh, that don't sound right. And then after that, a picture comes out with RJ Barrett as a little boy riding in the car with a Knicks hat on. You know what I'm saying? So know RJ Barrett wants to be here and wants to turn this thing around. Have always had eyes on New York.
True.
Right. So what I'm saying is if you get a Bradley Beal, right? You don't know if Bradley Beal wanted to be a Knick. You just know he wanted to be out of that terrible situation he was in.
Okay, I want to say something, and this may shock a lot of people when I'm going to say, and I don't really care. Here's what I think of the Wizards, okay? But you got to hear me out on this. The Wizards are the worst version of the Blazers. Here's what I mean by that, right? Let's look at Dame and Westbrook for a moment, all right? I'm not trying to change the topic by making a point, all right? Dame and Westbrook, they both love to score a lot of points, okay? But here's the thing. Both guys don't take smart shots when it comes to high IQ teams. You get what I'm saying? And both guys don't really defend, okay? If you use eye test. And both guys don't really play all that smart against defensive teams like the Warriors, teams like that, right? CJ and Beal, all right? CJ McCollum could score the rock. Same thing with Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal's better than CJ McCollum, but here's what I mean by that. Both guys don't really defend, and both guys take a lot of low percentage shots, okay? And that's what I'm saying. And Terry Stotts and Scott Brooks are garbage head coaches. Okay, they don't run plays and allow players to do whatever they want. So that's what I mean by that. The Wizards, I think the Blazers are better than the Wizards, but I'm saying is that the Wizards are like the worst version of the Blazers because both teams don't defend. Both teams,
what's good?
Both teams don't defend. Both teams have point guards who score a lot of points but don't show IQ versus high IQ teams or defensive teams. And also, you have shooting guards who like to score a lot of points but don't defend. And you have coaches who don't have a system. So that's my point. That's why I say the Wizards are like the worst version of the Blazers. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Right. Free Keith, what's good?
Man, listen. Man, the Knicks are good. That's what's good. The outlook is good. And it's funny how you broke down. My fault. What's going on? Salute to the chat.
Salute.
Salute to the visuals. Yo, the Wizards got two multi-year all-stars on their team.
Right.
I'm not giving them no shorts.
None.
Right.
None. We got one and a possible.
First time all-star.
And his first time at that.
Right.
I'm giving RJ a possible because he playing at that level. But like, I'm not explaining away why no team. It's not impressive that we beat them. This, that, and the other. Like, nah, we just beat two multi-year all-stars. Bomb. Who next?
And they healthy.
And they healthy. 100%. We got, you know what I'm saying? We still waiting on Rose to come back.
Right.
These are the things that give me hope. I don't know. Like I look at some of the things that's not happening. Like how we do in the face of our own adversary.
Right.
You know, like we just beat two all-stars back to back.
Bam.
Back to back. Both games. Right. And they came back like I'm as optimistic as the most optimistic fan. That game wasn't looking good.
Right.
That game wasn't looking good.
Game two. Game two was not looking good.
I was about to chalk it up like, all right, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? They came back. They got washed. They got washed and they came back. Like, you got to give them that. Like, I'm not mad. Like, you still got two all-stars. They got egos. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cool. If they would have taken that game, I would not have been mad. I would have chalked it up to like that's the game. That's how
and everybody get up to play in the Garden. Everybody get
playing the Garden, and it's people there too now. So you can't say it's an empty gym. So so you getting that energy. I definitely thought like, yo, your boy Westbrook. It's time to hang up any kind of Westbrook love, yo.
Right.
It's time to hang that up. I'm so glad. I heard cats talking about like trading for him at the beginning of the season. Yo, it would have been, let me tell you, would have been such of the biggest disappointment in this season. If we traded Randall in a play to get somebody like Westbrook and him having the season he's having, like I don't know if I'd be a Knicks fan no more.
Right. Because we legit would shoot our foot off to try to win a race. Right. That is legit. We'd have been hustling backwards in the worst sense of the word.
And Cats wanted him to the point that some dudes is still salty today that we didn't trade for Westbrook.
Right. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with me and Westbrook. Right. So and not only did I want Westbrook, I wanted a point guard. I knew the point guard position had to be upgraded. And my frustration was CP3 gets traded, Westbrook gets traded, John Wall gets traded, Ricky Rubio gets traded, Dennis Schroeder gets traded, and we bring back a guy that we cut.
Right.
That was my frustration, right? And if you look at it on the surface, you can understand my frustration. When we know we have a need, because we cut the guy that we had last year, right? We know we have a need. So much so that we cut the dude. All these dudes get traded around in front of us, right? And then after musical chairs, after the music stop, we bring back the guy that we cut. Right? So you could understand my frustration, right? To understand my frustration, like we legit needed to upgrade and we didn't. Right? So the thing with Westbrook, though, is now that you see him, there are no more excuses for Westbrook. Westbrook is washed, right? Westbrook is on that slow decline that everybody was pointing to a few years ago. What's going to happen when his athleticism diminishes, right? Remember that? Remember that conversation?
Yeah.
And now you can see Westbrook losing a step, and now you're like, okay, this is what
Westbrook is it. The period of time that Westbrook is in right now, is the exact same period of time that Melo was at, right? Like when we traded
Right.
him. Like you didn't get an idea that Melo was the last one to realize that he wasn't Melo no more.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing with Westbrook. Like Westbrook still thinks that he's triple dub averaging MVP Westbrook. Right. And he's not. And I feel like he'd do so much better if he would just fall back, like Rose kind of fell back a little bit.
Right.
He would have so much more success. Like, you're not the man, Westbrook. Sorry. You're not the man.
Mm-hmm. The only frustrating thing is with watching a Westbrook is that dudes with only one gear, if you tell them to adjust that gear, they can't because they have one. They only have one gear. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's the
feeling. That's a failing because like really then like that person doesn't realize that like there's going to be certain things out of their control. Your ability to adapt is actually part of one of the things that makes somebody great.
Right.
Like as much as I kick LeBron's back in, like he's developed his game so much over the years. Like really, he doesn't even need to be that same LeBron that cats loved in the beginning of his career. He's still as impactful as a whole different LeBron.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Because you know what? And the thing with LeBron is this: people forget that LeBron James was not the skilled guy that he is today.
Yeah, exactly.
Like coming into the league, he had some court vision, he had some basketball IQ, but he had high upside. Everybody knew he would get better. He just needed experience, right? He just needed to get some games under his belt before he developed into. But people forget though, day one, him stepping in the NBA, day one, as soon as he shook the commissioner's hand, he was the greatest athlete size player in the NBA. He was the best athlete size combo player in the NBA. Like he can legit run like the Derrick Roses and all that stuff at 6'8", 250, right? 6'8", 250. He was an elite athlete, right? Mm-hmm. And people forget that. They're like, yeah, LeBron, yeah, he came a long way. You know, he couldn't shoot that for man. LeBron was probably the most from day one. The only athletes I think I can compare LeBron James to in terms of size, speed combination. I'm not size, speed, but athleticism, size, speed combination is Randy Moss's. Cats like Randy Moss. You like Randy at 6'4"? At 6'4", dude shouldn't be running that fast, doing the stuff Randy Moss doing. That's what the little guys do. That's like, you know, the guys like Peter Warwick and all them dudes do, juking through people and all that stuff. Randy, you know, but LeBron, day one, stepping into the NBA, you're like, yeah. It's like when Shaq came into the NBA. You're like, okay, 7'1", 300 pounds, might be the fastest center in the NBA. Might be, you know, when he first came in. Of course, over the years, Shaq got bigger and slower and all that stuff. But whatever. But from day one, this dude trying to do stuff that Chris Webber could do. When Chris Webber did it, it was impressive. At 6'10".
This is all of the LeBron appreciation I could take for one day. Like I hate celebrating a dude like that who's still playing.
Right.
Got Knicks fans calling this man the GOAT. He's still playing, man. Right. No, that's LeBron.
Yeah. But what about Mike? What about Jordan?
Jordan's the greatest. But I can say that now. Like you would have had to rip my larynx out for me to say that.
Right.
Can I ask you one question, Uncle Keith? Sorry, salute. I love you, Big Freezy. G Money, I love you. I love everybody.
Love you too, man. Love you, Chop.
Wi-Fi's in the building.
Building.
Yo, Freaky, hold up. When Jordan pushed Byron Russell on the butt, like he pushed him and shot the shot against Utah Jazz, they would have called that now or no? I don't know.
I mean, no, they wouldn't have called it now.
No,
he's a star. Because they wouldn't call it on LeBron now. So, like, of course, they wouldn't have called it now. They would have especially not called it now.
Nowadays, they would have called a foul on Brian Russell. There's like Brian Russell, your butt touched your
and Devon it's not about Devon. It's not about giving a man his flowers, bro. Like, he's not on my team. I'm a fan of the Knicks. You know what fan is? You know what fan is short for? It's short for fanatic.
Fanatic.
It ain't short for like logical thinking human being.
Right.
Like, it's short for like I don't care how good you are. You playing against my team. I hate you.
Right.
That's what it's short for to me. To you, it might be short for something else. But I'm a Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? LeBron ain't not basketball LeBron. Real life human being LeBron is unflappable, and I will tolerate no real life human being LeBron slander.
Right.
But basketball LeBron, man, F him.
Right.
Until he on my team. And if he's not, F him.
Right. It's like what we used to say about Dr. J when I was a shorty, right? When I was a shorty, they used to be like, we'd be outside. It used to be cold, boy. We in Jersey City, we'd be out there playing, and they'd be like, yo, did you see how Dr. J dunked on Bill Cartwright last night? And so with me, it used to make my skin crawl, dog. It used to make me want to vomit the fact that you know what I'm saying, that Knicks fans are like, yo, did you see how Dr. J yammed on Bill Cartwright? In my mind, I'm like, I wish Bill Cartwright would have punched that joker in the throat. You know what I'm saying? But people legit have an appreciation for cats like Dr. J. Like, I respected Dr. J. But I was not a fan of Dr. J. Right? My guy was Michael Ray Richardson. Okay. I like Michael Ray Richardson. I like Darryl Walker. You know what I'm saying? I like those guys, man. You know, so I like Rory Sparrow and Trent Tucker. I like those guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't come to me like, did you see how Magic threw that no look against us in the Garden? Nah. Talk to me about how Michael Ray Richardson picked his pocket 5 times. Talk to me about how they had to have Norm Nixon bring the ball up because Michael Ray Richardson was ripping Magic Johnson pockets. Talk to me about that. That's the stuff that I'll be talking. So I'm with Free Keith on that. Chop low was good.
I don't. Just as a caveat, like, yo, I carry my fandom a certain way. I know other people carry this fandom certain, different ways. This is just how I look at it. Like, these Knicks, these are my gladiators. The MSG is my gladiatorium. Like, these cats is fighting for me. I'm not riding for nobody else but my fighters. Like, you know what I'm saying? They out there defending my honor. So I'm socially defending theirs. And like that's as much LeBron appreciation as I'm giving for the day. Period.
Right. And so the thing is, these dudes is coming on our turf to infiltrate, and our riders is going out there to defend our turf. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dog. What are we talking about?
That's just how I look at it, though. I don't expect anybody else's fandom or loyalty to be carried.
Nah, that's a fact.
But you know what I'm saying? And that goes for everything, like any sport, anything I'm loyal to. Right. Like, if you still playing against me, if you still an active player against me, I hate you. Right. After you retire, then I can appreciate you.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. I've been a Knicks fan for a long time, right? And I know I don't want to get into story mode, but I remember my first experiences going to the Garden wasn't even to see the Knicks. Like my first few times going in the Garden was to see the Harlem Globetrotters, right?
Yeah, I saw the circus. Yeah.
Right. And so
after the circus.
Yeah. So I used to go in, and I used to see these guys in all types of. Yo, Hoodie Kev, what's good?
Hoodie.
So my thing though is with Hoodie. I had a fascination with our turf first. You know what I'm saying? Like, my uncles and them used to chop it up in the living room. They used to smoke them long cigarettes. They used to be like a mile long. I forget. I think they might have been like
cigarettes.
Yeah, cool 100s or something. You know what I'm saying? So I used to listen to them talk.
Story time.
Yeah. So I used to listen to them talk about how that boy from the Baltimore Bullets used to eat up Clyde Frazier. You know what I'm saying? And but they would never win, right? The Baltimore Bullets had this guard named Earl the Pearl Monroe. He used to eat up Clyde Frazier, boy. But the thing about it though is they would never win. And what people didn't notice at the time, it was like Clyde would defend him and just let him go crazy. Clyde would cut off all the passing lanes and just let him shoot. And the dude would score 40 against us. and the Knicks would win 101-77, right? And people would be like, but Earl the Pearl, he ate Clyde Frazier. Really? Who really won? Who really won? Right? Because at the end of the night, Clyde Frazier walking off with the W, right? And Clyde Frazier was an elite point guard defender. Elite. Clyde Frazier might be the greatest defender of all time at the point guard position. And it depends on who you like. You know what I'm saying? Gary Payton, Mo Cheeks, you know what I'm saying? Clyde Frazier, whoever. But anyway, so my fandom started there, defending our turf. Like winning was more important than everything. You know what I'm saying? Winning is more important than statistics, right? It's like the Julius Randle thing, and I promise you I'm going somewhere with this. It's like the Julius Randle thing from last year. People said Julius Randle was putting up empty stats, right? But then when I look at other power forwards around the league, even one on our roster named Obi Toppin can't even get a basket, right? And we're talking about Julius Randle's 2010 from last year being empty stats. That's ridiculous in my mind, right? But anyway, my point is, when you're a fan, it starts in a certain place, usually your heart, right? And then it grows outward from there. What's up, Hoodie Kev?
Oh, what's going on? I was listening to the podcast. I see you started late. So I was like, let's see what's going on. Because I was on my way to Wendy's because they have a delicious Caesar chicken salad thing.
Of course, you can't go to a fast food spot for a chicken Caesar salad.
I'm telling you, if you ever had
Hoodie Kev, you eat like a little kid, bro. Hoodie Kev, you eat like you're 14.
That's like going to a prostitute and paying for a hug.
Yeah.
Listen, do you see the salad?
How much is a hug? Did you say a hug was $15? Okay.
Listen, these salads ain't no joke. They ain't no joke. I mean, they're a sizable thing. So you gonna get your money's worth. It's only like $7.
Okay, all right.
So then go to Wendy's and get one of those. But then I was listening and I heard Free Keith, who I have much respect for, talking about Russell Westbrook, and I was like, no.
Here come Hoodie Kev with the nonsense.
You better have respect for him. This is the Knicks Morning Drive. You better tiptoe in here because GI is listening.
Hear what Hoodie got to say about this trash. Let's hear his trash.
See, when you call Russell Westbrook trash, right, does that mean that you are fully on board with Elfrid Payton and his murdering of backboards?
Why does one
He is a serial killer of backboards.
Why does one have to equal the other? Like I don't like chocolate. Oh, so that must mean you love vanilla. Nah, like that's not
what
the one. The other.
So here's the thing. So this is.
I bet you money if we had Westbrook right now, you would have hated what we had to give up to get him. I bet you money.
You see, bet
you money.
This is the thing.
Whether Elf was here or not.
Right.
Because you say that and you speak in hindsight. And everyone who speaks in hindsight is usually smart about what they say. So if you just said at the last year,
this is the same.
No. If you would have said before this season, we had to trade Julius Randle, spin cycle Julius to get Russell Westbrook, I'd be like, okay, fine. Because it's not the Julius Randle of this season. And nobody was happy with Julius Randle from last season.
You talking to the
say that in hindsight. You say that in hindsight because here's the thing. In hindsight, we didn't know Obi Toppin, the prize rookie, the top 10 rookie that was college player of the year last year. We didn't know he was going to look like this. So we got him.
Actually, here's the thing. You're 100% correct. I feel like nobody knew the degree to which Randle would come back looking like this. Right. Like nobody knew that. Like, and I was a big Randle promoter, and I'd be lying to you if I said that he was coming back at the point forward of the year. No, I did not imagine that. But I tell you this, I still would not have traded him for Russell Westbrook. And I said as much at the time of Russell Westbrook coming up in trade talk. Like the only cat of that expense and caliber at the point guard position that I said that I would trade for was CP3. Why? Because CP3 adds a value that very few in the league actually actually add to a team.
He is a plus multiplier. CP3 is a plus multiplier.
Exactly. Especially to a young team. CP3, I think, would have been a very valuable get for guys like Quickly, for Obi, for all the young cats. CP3 would have been a not only skillful on the court, but he would have been a plus player for them developmentally.
Right.
I was not trading what I not that I thought that Westbrook was trash. I still don't think that he's trash. I just don't think that he's worth what we'd have to give up to get him.
He's diminished.
Basically, i.e. Julius Randle. So let me ask you a question.
Julius Randle and picks. Imagine what we would have had to give up to get this man, bro.
No. So hold on. So let's say you could have
Knox would have been gone. Cats like Knox, all our friends, young guys like Knox, they would have been gone.
Because just what you thought about Julius Randle, everybody else thought about Julius Randle. So like his value wasn't known back then. So it would have been Julius Randle plus like 2 first-round picks, something stupid like that. And how dumb would we look right now?
Right. It'd have been Knox, Frank, DSJ.
No, like it would have been a trash heap because the Knicks tax. You get in the Knicks tax on top of everything else.
So hold on. So let's say this. All right, let's say this. Let's say that trade. Like Knox.
I'm gonna grab a water. I'll be right.
Let's say Knox, who I'm a Knoxer, so I'm gonna say, but everyone else was like Knox ain't doing nothing, right?
Okay, we know you're a Knoxer.
You say DSJ, who's not even here no more. Frank, let's be honest.
He's not even here no more.
Let's be honest, right? A first round, it wouldn't have been our first. Let's say that we gave up the Quickly pick. So we wouldn't have had Quickly. Okay, we wouldn't have had Quickly. But what we would have got was like an 8-time All-Star. Here's the thing about Russell Westbrook compared to someone like Elfrid Payton. If Elfrid Payton could finish around the rim, he would be Russell Westbrook. If Elfrid Payton, think about it, they basically do the same thing almost, right? They have the same similar game. But the only thing is, if Elfrid Payton could actually finish, he basically be Russell Westbrook.
Elf is more productive for our team than Russell Westbrook is for his team, brother.
But here's the thing: this year, let's say Washington doesn't make
from a standpoint of facts, bro. Like
from a standpoint of facts,
I don't think that Elf is our point guard of the future.
Well, I'll ask you this:
I'm just saying, if we're going to evaluate apples and oranges, like Elf actually is better for our team and our winning structure and like help for our team in general than Westbrook is for his and for the team that he came from. Westbrook is a very selfish Westbrook centered player. It just is, and he's not the man anymore, but he thinks he is mentally.
So let me ask you a question. Did Russell Westbrook take a backseat to James Harden?
Yeah.
Did Russell Westbrook, can you say, take a backseat to Bradley Beal this year?
I feel like I don't think that it's the same backseat that he took to. You
can say he's like, okay, this is your team. You the star here.
I give him that, but you still see the moments, bro. Like
he's still Russell Westbrook. Of course, he's gonna have moments.
Exactly. That's my point. I love the guy. Like I do not hate Russell Westbrook. I think like he's he was a very dynamic, powerful point guard. I dug how he played.
Like you said, Keith.
Exactly. He's not that guy anymore. He thinks he is mentally, but he's not that guy anymore. And that style of play is not good for our team right now, brother. Like our guys are very much like they're not like even Randall. Randall looks for other guys. You can't even say that this season isn't different in that way. Randall actively looks to get guys involved. Actively.
And Keith, to that point, remember, Tim's going to pull you out.
Russell needs to play with a bunch of developed cats to his level to be effective. Russell, in the scenario that we have with all these kids, would not be a good look. It would not be. All he would do is impress his dominance, and those cats would not be mentally strong enough to really push back on him.
So a guy who averages 10 assists doesn't look to get other people involved when he would average more assists than anyone on this team right now.
Those assists are not like he's not.
Those are bailout assists.
He's not playmaking. He's not making plays. Those assists are like, I am going to the basket. I can't get to the basket, so I'm gonna push out the ball. Like,
right, bailouts.
Isn't that hold on? Isn't that what Tom Thibodeau wants?
Those aren't assists that.
Hold on.
What
does Tom Thibodeau want? He wants somebody that can penetrate the hole, collapse the defense, and kick. I could have sworn that's what Tom Thibodeau said he wanted.
I didn't say that he wouldn't work well with Tibbs. I didn't say that Tibbs wouldn't. I didn't say that he wasn't directionally the kind of guy that Tibbs is, but we already have Quigley.
But Quigley
and we got Derrick Rose.
No, wait, no. I say we already have Quigley because I feel like Quigley is more so in line with how Derrick Rose plays than anybody else on the team. IQ is a point guard that does not look for other people, in his route to scoring, and will not pass to you unless he does not see a way that he can score.
I feel like this is how I feel about this, right?
I'm not, and this is not even me bashing anyone. Like, this is not bashing anyone. This is me saying like plainly what I see going on the court.
This is how I feel, right? And again, this is my opinion. So you have a guy in Russell Westbrook averaging 21 and 10, right? 21 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and basically 21, 10, and 10, right? And you say he's no longer the triple, and 36 games, that's what he averaging. So he's like, he's no longer the triple-double or triple whatever Russell Westbrook, but he still is actually.
He's getting
even though he's washed.
He's getting the triple double that Elf was getting on the team. Like, y'all hated on Elf's triple doubles because they were leading to L's. Because they were leading to L's. They were not W's. The same thing is going on with him right now. He has very selfish triple dubs.
So here's what's funny. This would be if Washington does not make the playoffs in 11 years. 11 years. This would be the first time Russell Westbrook has missed the playoffs. Okay. In 11 years, this would be the first time. Now, this is different.
Hold on. Stop the tape. Hold on. Wait. Stop the tape right here.
Pull up.
Because with Hoodie Cav is using a fact, but this is like the type of fact that I tell people to be very, very careful of, right? Because when you look at Russell Westbrook's career, you can't pretend like he was dragging dead bodies to the playoffs. He legit made the playoffs with James Harden twice in two different cities, right? This is the same Russell Westbrook that played with Kevin Durant for the majority of his career. This is the dude that has Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams, you know what I'm saying, your Reggie Jacksons. Russell Westbrook had a 2-year stretch where he drug a team to the playoffs, and they were easy first-round exits, right? But in all the other years, this dude was probably the second or third best player on his
90% of his playoff runs, like, he was not the best guy on the court.
Right.
So let me get it. So when he won the MVP, you can say
how many years did he win the MVP, bro?
You can say, hold on. So when he won the MVP, which I could swear Elfrid Payton never won the MVP. So when he won the MVP, he drug a team that shouldn't have even made the playoffs to like the 5th or 6th. I can't remember what seed they were, but they weren't like the 8th seed. They were like the 5th or 6th seed. So he drug the Oklahoma City Thunder by himself to the playoffs.
By himself.
When has Elfrid
So
Payton?
Steven Adams.
Can you sit here and say, but hold on.
Steven Adams will help him with that.
Can you legitimately say,
not by himself? He had
Russell Westbrook. Can you say Elfrid Payton? Can you sit here and say that any season, one season?
Elfrid Payton never played with Hall of Famers, bro. Like,
who was a Hall? No. Listen to what I said.
Elfrid Payton never played with Hall of Famers.
What I said. I said the season he won the MVP when it was just Russell Westbrook.
One season? Okay, cool.
But here's the thing. Can you say Elfrid Payton one time?
You're acting.
Led a team to the playoffs.
Wait, before we go any further, Are you trying to strawman this whole thing like I'm saying that Elfrid Payton is the greatest point guard ever? Because I don't understand why we're arguing about
the thing is, you say that Elfrid Payton is a better fit.
In the beginning of this, what you came into arguing was that what Russell Westbrook isn't what he was. I don't know where you're getting the Elfrid stuff.
You said Elfrid Payton is a better fit for this team than
currently,
Russell Westbrook.
Today, yes. Right now.
I cannot agree.
Yes,
with that
way better than Westbrook.
Right, and so
Cam, I guarantee
you can disagree with that, but
Russell Westbrook and Elfrid Payton, this team would be better than 23.
Wait, Kev. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. So we're being really subjective right now and adding conjecture because what happens is the Wizards are not going to accept an Elfrid Payton for Russell Westbrook deal straight up,
and they shouldn't.
Right. So that's not what's happening. Right. So that's where the conjecture was added. Right. You have to look at
Uncle Freezy. Hold up, Uncle Freezy.
Hey, Chop. Let me finish.
I got mommy here. Look, you see mommy?
Hey, Mom. Put it on the camera, Chop. Hey, mommy. Hey, Chop, man. You
I can't hear.
Oh, she can't hear.
Chop, you mad selfish. Why you won't let her hear, Chop? Hey, Chop, you have a beautiful family, man. Can you hear me?
Man, good work there, Chop.
Yo, God bless. Salute, man. You know that's mommy right there. Yeah.
Y'all have a beautiful family, man.
Now back to business. My intent in this.
You said special delivery soon. You heard?
Uh-oh. Congrats.
Right. And so what I'm saying to Hoodie Kev, and because Hoodie Kev has a point, but I think when you add the conjecture to it, it's just all wrong. We don't want to put gravy on the cake. We like icing on the cake, right? So what we want to do is say what man said is you can't compare Russell Westbrook's career to Elfrid Payton's career, and that's a fact. Based on the facts that have played themselves out, Russell Westbrook is potentially is a Hall of Famer, and Elfrid Payton is just a good NBA player, right? But the thing I'm telling Hoodie Cab though is you can't, just say take one player off one team and add him to another team. You have to look at what we would have to give up for Westbrook, right? And if you look at what you had to give up for Westbrook in order for him to be here, the team would look totally different, right? Because you're talking about giving up first round picks. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about maybe even giving up guys like who at the time wouldn't even have had the chance to play for us. Like Emmanuel.
Now you feeling what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point that I'm getting.
If I may, so
that was my original argument.
So let's say again, and you were going. So I don't know if you heard me. You're like, okay, we had to give up Knox, and we all, and like I said, I'm a Knoxer, but it's not like Kevin Knox is really having an impact. If you ask everybody else, you said give up DSJ, who's not even. He's already been traded.
Right.
Frank. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right. That's because the Knoxers and the Frankers have beef. The Frankers and Knoxers have beef.
The Frankers and the Knoxers got beef now, yo. Like it's wild, crazy.
Right.
You probably would have given it the pick to get quickly, and then you probably would have gave up next year's pick, which we don't even know who that would have been. So
because at the time we already had quickly. Remember that the draft was in December, right?
When the trades happened.
No, these trades was at the beginning of the season. We already had Quick. Had Quick. Quick was already there.
Right.
But Russell Westbrook was traded before. Wait, when was Russell Westbrook traded? Was he traded before the draft?
It was after the draft. This is after the draft.
Okay.
This is all after the draft.
Again, let's say you wouldn't have known what Quickly would have been, so traded him too.
But can you imagine if he was doing this?
So imagine you traded Randall and Quickly.
But let's say no. But here's the thing. Let's say you would have. But here's the thing. Let's say just for argument's sake,
fans will be literally throwing up on themselves right now. Sick.
Well, we don't know what they would have looked like in Oklahoma City.
Are you okay?
We don't know how Julius Randle.
Oklahoma City.
I mean, not Oklahoma. Houston. I'm sorry, Houston. We don't know what Julius Randle would look like in Houston.
Let me interject these two things. Really quickly, before you continue. Yes, we don't know what they would have been had they been on the Houston, or had they been on the Rockets, right? We don't know what they would have been. True. But I will interject this. Randall was off for 9 months before seeing and being with the rest of the team.
Right.
And Tibbs. Majority, he came back first game preseason playing like this.
Yep.
First game, preseason, first game. This is the Randall we saw. Tibbs had him physically for 2 weeks. Had the whole team together physically for 2 weeks.
That's it.
Did that happen in 2 weeks? Nah. You could believe that if you want to. You're believing in pipe dreams. Right. That was 9 months of off-season work on Randall's own.
On Randall's part.
Randall working
on when he got the job.
Randall working on Randall's game. Had he been traded to Houston, the benefit of that work would have went to Houston.
When Tom Thibodeau,
because it was evident from the beginning of the preseason.
When Tom Thibodeau got the job, he got it with all of his players and told them what he expected and what he wanted from them.
I can tell you whatever the hell I want to tell you. Did he not tell Knox anything? Did he not tell Frank anything? What did they do for 9 months?
Right.
So again,
they do for 9 months.
These players didn't work.
What did Frank do for 9 months?
That's my point. He didn't just tell Randall. He told everybody. Randall was the only one who worked on it.
So are you trying to say that no other player who Tom Thibodeau called and said, "Hey, this is what I want you to work on"?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it doesn't matter that you're saying that he called and talked and he told Randall that. He told everybody that.
Right, and it's our saying.
Why is Randall the only one who came back like he did?
Right, and our saying is a rising tide raises all boats. Right, that's the saying. That's what I say. Because coaching is not going to be a specifically individualized lesson for one player, because the coach is invested in getting a certain result. So in that result, he wants everybody across the board to get better. So that's why you see Elfrid Payton's numbers are historically better this year than they are. His career averages are better this year under Tom Thibodeau, and people won't give him credit for that.
Not one stat though, not his assists. Because
because
Julius Randle is the point guard.
But the shooting is better across the board when you look at his numbers. And the assist thing is twofold to me. For one, when you have a point forward, your point guards are not going to have high assist totals. It's just case in point. Look at Draymond Green and Steph Curry. People say Steph Curry won't pass, but they have a point forward there that helps facilitate the offense. Right? It is. So what I'm going to say about Elfrid Payton too, though, is Elfrid Payton is a perimeter distributor. You know what I'm saying? When he drives to the basket, he doesn't necessarily kick. He's a really good perimeter distributor. Like if you give him Evan Fournier's, Terrence Ross's, Devin Booker's, Drew Holiday's, cats like that he played with in the past that he could pass to on the perimeter, you saw his assist totals be really high. But when it goes to bigs, his assist totals are really low based on what he normally does. But that's not his game. And to Elf Payton's credit, he worked on his shooting. He knew Randall was going to be the point forward, so he worked on his shooting. Is he a good shooter? No. Is he better than he was last year? Yes. And the numbers indicate that.
My point,
AD was good.
My point, the point that I was making initially and the point that still stands is that we would have been super hot right now as Knicks fans had we traded what we needed to trade away to get Russell Westbrook. We would have been tight right now, especially if Randall was in Houston and Quigley was in Houston performing like they are now.
Yes, I agree with that point, Keith. Cool, Keith.
Mr. Keith. My mind. What's going on, my man? Hey, what's good?
Peace to everybody. Hoodie Cap,
peace.
Chop Low, You know, it's like the invasion of the body snatchers here with the Knicks at night, you know, coming all in. But you guys have an interesting topic going on here, because I was one of those people, to Uncle Freezy's point. When they re-signed Elfridge Payton, I thought I was going to lose my mind. Right? Because they let. I've talked about this since going back to last year when they didn't get Russell and CP3 and everybody and so forth, and you went and for the recycled, and I wanted Westbrook. He's not my kind of player. I have knocked him. I remember him shooting 44 times in one playoff game.
Yep.
40 points with 44 shots, and he gets these assists that it's like, okay, are they really assists? Or are they like bailouts because I couldn't make the layup?
Right.
Type of deal. But the one thing that I thought he could have brought to the Knicks team, especially these young guys, I thought his work ethic and going for it on every possession was something that I thought that could have really been utilized. And the next thing was, he's never really had a coach that held his feet to the fire.
Right.
He's never really had someone that was like, look, you're reckless. You're too reckless. You play too fast. I never thought I would say this. You play too hard.
Right.
On every possession. But back to Keith's point, if we had made that trade and Randall and Quickly and whoever else was out of town right now, Lord, that's all I'll say.
There is nothing. We would commission to get Leon Rose fired right now.
Right now.
I just like I
right
said,
now.
That is an unfair statement.
If Randall was doing this,
if
Randall was doing this on some other team right now that we traded for,
what if he was? Hold on. What if he was still spin cycle Randall?
Yeah, but he wouldn't have been. But he wouldn't.
Why wouldn't it? Because he has a coach that's going to hold him accountable.
Did you read his? You know what? I would suggest go read the article that he wrote for the Player Tribune. It explains a lot in terms of his mentality when he first got here and how it changed over that year. That year had nothing to do with Tibbs. Like I would challenge you to go and read that, and then let's come back and have a conversation about like that. Yes. Randall was ready to come back and be a difference this year. Period.
He had soul
searching. He was ready to come back this year and be a difference maker.
So if he was on Houston, who, mind you, just got over a 20-game losing streak, right? So we have no idea what that would have mentally done because that team sucks. Houston sucks.
To quickly interject,
we do not know what Julius Randle in that mindset. Like, my team sucks, and I'm out here. I have to be selfish. So he would have had that mindset, like, I have to be selfish because my team sucks. He would have had that mindset. So we do not know. You can't sit here and say he's going to be this exact same because the circumstances would have been completely different. So we can't sit here and say in hindsight he would have been this Julius Randle because I guarantee you he wouldn't have been.
No, Hoodie Kev, that's not fair. That's not fair.
How is it not fair?
I agree with both of y'all.
A human being is a human being, right? Will naturally develop to their surroundings, right?
Yeah, but this is where it's not fair. It's not like they got rid of everybody that was on the team last year. His main running buddy is RJ Barrett, who's still here, and they were having a bad time being on the floor last year.
Right.
Not so, that's 720. He didn't do a 360. Julius did a 720. I'm not even talking about his offense. Look at him defensively.
Right.
He's much better defensive player. I'm not saying he's all world, but much better defensively. Julius is efficient. He trusts his teammate to a fault. In that Brooklyn game, when you got Harden on you in the post, that should have been barbecue chicken all day.
All day long.
Right?
Or should have been.
Sometimes he took the shot, but a lot of times he passed it out. There's no way a 6'9" man should be passing out when a 6'3" man is guarding him.
Right. What's good, Devon? What's happening?
What's up, guys? What's up?
What's goody, Devon?
What's up?
Hey, how's everything in Cali?
Hey, man, it's beautiful. Everything is always beautiful in Cali.
He sound all the way Cali every time I hear this.
But I was listening in the chat, and I was keeping score and stuff like that. But I was kind of trolling. But I get what both of you guys are saying, though. Like, I agree with both of you guys, like, in the sense of that. Yeah, if we would have traded Randall and seen him, on Houston now, we would have all been mad. But on the same side, though, Westbrook has been putting up those statistically, has been putting up those same kind of numbers that Randall is putting up now. So it's kind of like we really can't tell because you can't really say what really would have happened, you know what I mean? But I do agree with what both of you guys are saying, though, because we would have to get rid of a lot to get Randall, but if you would just interject Westbrook, statistically,
a lot to get Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean Westbrook, yes, but if you interject Westbrook's just his game, like his statistical game, it's what Randall is kind of doing now.
Devon.
Are the players differently? Do they play differently? Yes. That point, yes. You're right on that point, Freaky.
Devon, had we been able to pick him up without losing any assets, I'm with you.
Bam.
I'm with you on the team.
Yeah,
If we would have been able to pick him up for just losing Alfred straight up,
right.
I'm with you. I'm there with you. And this is what I was trying to explain to Hoodie Kev when he was trying to make it about like Alfred versus. It's not about the actual position. It's about like the totality of the loss, and just losing Randall. Looking at his production now, just losing Randall would have been a big deal. But we wouldn't have just lost Randall. We'd have lost Randall. We'd have lost probably a performing young player. And we would have lost picks. We would have been so tight right now, yo.
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that point. But the point on like Westbrook is doing the things Randall is doing now, just statistically.
Hold on. But would you agree though? Randall is doing it more intentionally. And when I say that, like Randall's passes and his assists are with actual playmaking in mind. They aren't all hoop bailouts.
Well intentioned.
That's all I'm saying.
Bailouts, but a lot of stars. I get you on that point. He does play a little bit more. I mean, they both kind of play reckless, in my opinion. No, Randall has curbed his a little bit. He's curbed his a little bit. They both play reckless. Westbrook is just like the ultimate reckless player. So I get you on that point.
Ultimate.
Yeah, he is. Like AD said, like I've never seen a player play too hard. Like you play a little too hard for your own good, and you play a little too fast for everybody else. Like we all can't move.
You be
like
wanting to tell the guy relax sometimes. Like yo, relax.
Yeah, so
catch up, man. Hold on.
Right. So I get that point. I get that. So, like, the personalities and the on-court stuff. But, like, statistically, Westbrook has been doing what Randall is doing now, almost his whole career.
But his
numbers. I agree with you. I just feel like those points, like two people could get 20 and 10.
Right. It's different, though.
And it'd be different how they get it. Like,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we didn't like how Randall got his 20 and 10 last year.
I hated it. Like, he was to me last year. He was trying to be. He was trying to be who he is today.
So it's not all Randall's fault. When and this is the thing I keep saying. Randall looking to pass to the corner for three, and he looks in the corner, and there's a dude named Mo Harkless over there in the corner. Do you kick out to Mo Harkless for three?
I get that, but all stars do that though. But all stars can have that mentality.
Reggie Bullock was early on the team last year.
No,
RJ Barrett was on the team last year. Elfrid Payton was on the team last year.
I know that.
And they were not hitting like they hit.
Mitchell Robinson and Taj Gibson were on the team last year.
And they were not hitting.
So you substitute Mo Harkless for Alec Burks, okay? Then you had Wayne Ellington. Wayne Ellington was still a knockdown shooter. So you really
Wayne Ellington was not a knockdown.
Not with us.
Not with us.
Yeah,
guys like Bully and Ellington had their worst shooting years.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell my man. Is you can't just legit just say these names and take them out of context. What happened? RJ Barrett was here, but he couldn't shoot. Taj Gibson was here and he couldn't shoot. Mitchell Robinson was here and he wouldn't shoot. Right? Elfrid Payton was here and he couldn't shoot. Right. So just
Randall's game has changed though.
And what my point though is Randall's game has changed, but but the thing is whose offensive system are we talking about? Are we talking about Mike Miller's system where they ran horns every play, where both bigs pinned down? You know what I'm saying? Now you're talking about a different offensive system where the guards look for lanes to penetrate in, and to compromise the defense. It's different. Like just saying that, man, you gotta say it with some context, man.
And even Miller's system had the season got cut off, but they were getting better.
Right.
Yeah, I think Randall. I think in any system that whoever we picked up as a coach this season, Randall was going to ball out because I think last year he learned a lot. Last year he was playing, trying to be like something he wasn't. Now he's playing who he really is. Like, you know what I mean? Like last year he was trying to be a star. He was trying to be the New York Knicks savior. He was trying to
carry the team.
I think it was in RJ's head too. I think it was in both of their heads. Like I gotta do everything I can do to bring, and I think
in my opinion, RJ forced the issue more than Julius Randle did last year.
Yeah, of course, because he's a rookie.
Yeah, RJ was trying to be the savior.
And what Randle had to figure out was his best way to help the team was for helping those other guys get up.
Right.
Yes. Helping them get up.
Once he realized that, I think that's what changed the whole dynamic.
But not only
on Westbrook's thing, though, Westbrook ain't never had, when he did have that team by himself, he didn't have nobody to kind of lean on like that. He didn't have a RJ to say, you can be something someday, or you are something right now. Let's
So here's the thing.
I can say that about Westbrook.
Hold on. So here's the thing. So if you put him on Houston this year, with what Houston has this year,
they wouldn't have lost 20 games in a row.
What would Randle be doing?
They wouldn't have lost 20 games in a row.
I think you get the same.
I can tell you that.
You get the same Randle.
I'm the same Randle from last year.
No, you get the same Randle you have right now because you can't say you can't say that Randall's 9 months of preparation would have gone by the wayside just because he changed teams.
That's my
man
point.
Legit put the work in for 9 months to become a different player. And just saying just because he changed uniforms means he would have went away from that.
No. Because right there, let me catch you on this. From what you're saying, Randall didn't do anything different. All Randall's doing is not really physical, is he's trusting his teammates more. So that has nothing to do with preparation.
Hold on, Kev. It's his second year.
Uncle Freezy just came out of his mouth.
It's more than that.
Uncle Freezy just came out of his mouth and said, Randall last year was king of the Mo Harkless. RJ Barrett couldn't shoot. Dodge couldn't shoot. So basically, the only difference then is Randall's trusting his teammates because they can shoot better. It had nothing to do with 9 months of preparation. It's just his teammates around him can shoot better.
Now this is why he got better.
Crazy.
All right.
Killing really fast.
With that said, so what players do the Houston Rockets have now? Because if you trade, what you just said, I understand where you're trying to go. And I love the fight from the Knicks at Night podcast. They gritty, boy. Hoodie Kev coming in here with his swords out, and I love it. But Hoodie Kev.
And his Wendy sandwich that he about to go get.
Yeah. It's not a sandwich, it's a salad. And I'm missing out on my salad right now.
So Hoodie Kev, think about this. Because think about what you just said, right? About what I just said. And it's the trap. I sometimes I put the trap out there for others, and then people just arbitrarily just walk into it. And I'm like, dog it, I got somebody else. So I got Hoodie Kev this time. So Hoodie Kev, when you trade Randall for Westbrook, guess what else Randall has?
What?
He has a James Harden. He has a PJ Tucker, right? He has all those guys that made the playoffs last year, and a Christian Wood, and a Quickly. So now, not only does Randall get to show off his newly formed skills, he gets to do it with a higher level of surrounding talent.
But here's the difference. Here's the difference.
I'm not saying that he would have been ball
Westbrook
dominant.
really played with Hall of Famers and couldn't get it done.
Here's the big difference. So Randall is playing as fiddle number 1, right? So he has the leeway to do
let me finish
what he wants to do. In Houston with James Harden.
So my point was that I was getting to before you cut me off. You good? The Knicks at Night podcast is good at cutting people off, boy, because they come out with these scores out. They legit be wanting to get their points in. My thing is we believe that Julius Randle overall is a number 2, best suited to be a number 2 player anyway. Right. Anyway, it's the reason why all year long we've been talking about trading for a number 1 anyway. So now you get him to share the load with James Harden, and now Julius Randle can be a more efficient scorer, a more efficient facilitator, and gets to share the leadership. He would have gone to that team with that mindset and may have become one of the leaders on the team, whereas James Harden, we know historically, is not a great leader of men, right? So you're talking about Julius Randle going to the perfect situation and getting – now, would he make the All-Star team? No. You know why? Because the West is loaded with cats that are good, right? But would he have put up All-Star numbers? Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also you got to take account of this. You got to take account, would James Harden still have won it out?
That's what I was about to say. To piggyback off of that, even if James Harden would have left, James
Harden turned down $100 million for 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. Even
so
how many
games did James Harden play in Houston? Well, it wasn't that many, was it?
Yeah.
Huh?
But we're talking about the timeline in which the trade was floating about. We're talking about right after the draft, right before the season. We're talking about that timeline.
Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
Even if
Randall was coming, so you can't. Right. So using this Randall as whether Harden would have stayed or not is kind of irrelevant because he didn't know that this Randall existed.
Yes. No one knew. No one saw that this Julius was coming, and I'm starting to believe. Back to your point, Freezy. I'm no longer in the mindset that Julius is a number 2.
I think he's a 1 or 2.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Even if he would have went to the Rockets, this would have been his second season playing as a number 1 player. And if Harden would have left a number 1 player, he would have been totally different anyway, because he would have been used to getting the double team. He would have known now, okay, I got to pass it. He would have learned some more.
But Devon, I'm talking about the timeline, though. I'm talking about
I get up to the timeline. I'm just saying, even if Harden would have left,
we knew Julius was the number 1.
Yeah,
right. So it's a bunch of stuff. The point gets like convoluted some. You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about the timeline, and we're also talking about what we've seen from Julius. So to AD's point, he may be a number 1 guy. I believe now. I believe he's growing into that number 1 thing. But the conversation all year had been, is Julius Randle truly a number 1 option? And so that 3-point shot he hit against Brooklyn, remember that, bro? That's an alpha. That's an alpha shot. Even if he had missed,
I didn't feel like he's a closer yet, though. I feel like he's a number 1, but I don't think he's.
No, that shot, that's the exact same Kawhi shot from last year that he hit twice, yo.
Yes,
that's the exact same shot. The shit, it bounced on the rim, it went up.
But I don't.
But Kawhi is a superstar, but Randall can't be a number 1 option.
No, I didn't say he wasn't a number 1 option. I said he's not. I don't feel like he's a closer yet. I wish we had somebody else that more.
So Devon, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because the conversation we were having, it was about speculation and maybe a lot of moving parts that we can't legit quantify as facts.
Right.
But let me ask you this, and I want to start with Hoodie Cav. Hoodie Cav, do you believe that Julius Randle is the leader the alpha and the closer of the New York Knicks going forward?
2 out of the 3, I can say yeah.
Okay.
I like it, like Devon said. I can't, because I've seen him. He hit. Okay, here's the thing about
no. You were on the right track. You were on the right track because I've seen him continue with that. That's where I know exactly where your emotions were taking you. That's exactly it.
This is because so here's the thing. Because I've seen him fail in closing out too many times, I can't right now today say he's going to be a closer because I've seen him fail at it too many occasions. Now, being a closer, is that something that's just an instinctual thing, or is that something you can work on and get better at?
I don't
can't work on that.
You can work on it, but I also don't think that it's I don't think that it prevents you from being a superstar or being even a first option. Because to me, in my mind, LeBron isn't a closer.
Right. Same. Yeah.
That's why I said I agree on 2 out of the
3. Is he a top 2 guy in the NBA? Definitely.
Right.
Is he? I don't want the if I got one shot to make at the end of the game, I don't want LeBron taking it.
Right.
But I would want the ball in LeBron's hands though. Like when at the end of the game,
who's going to take it? Yes.
Yeah. I would say that. But see, with Julius, I would want Julius to be that guy that LeBron passed it to, and then he can make his play. You feel me? I don't like when Julius has the ball at the end of the game, to make a play. I don't.
I did.
I wish it was. I wish we had Rose in that situation. I think Rose would.
No.
I see what you're saying. Even with the Rose thing, though, I see where you're going with that. But I'm gonna say this, numbers wise, right? Numbers wise,
like Devon, you got a 6'9" man that's 260 pounds before lunch that can take any guy in the league off the dribble.
Anybody
that is not afraid to pass to the open man. You have to give him the ball in his hand.
Yeah, I guess I feel you. I feel you on that, but it's just not his skills aren't as polished as I would like them to be for him to be considered my closer. In my opinion,
let me jump in on that. So here's the thing. And I'm gonna do a history lesson. So back in the 80s, 2 of the most dominant scorers in the league played for the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks. Right, one guy's name is Michael Jordan. You probably heard of him. The other guy that could score just as good, his name was Dominique Wilkins. Right, and so when it comes to scoring, Dominique Wilkins could score with anybody that has ever played the game. Anybody. I don't care what style of play, what type of defense. Dominique Wilkins was so physically imposing, so athletic, so energetic that he could score with anybody in any era, and he can do it from a variety of ways, right? But he was not a closer, right? At the end of games, the coach was legit drawing up plays to get the best shot for whoever the defense would show deference to, right? Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, are what you call closers. With the game on the line, Larry Bird was like Casey Jones. You could take that clipboard and put it where the sun don't shine because I'm getting the ball and I'm going to win this game. That's Larry Bird. That's Michael Jordan. Is Julius Randle that type of guy? I don't see him as being that type of guy yet because in today's NBA, we lean more towards guards and wing players being the closer. Big guys, even though Randall is a super skilled big guy, he's a super skilled big guy. Bigs don't close games nowadays, right? But we have somebody that's different. We have a dude that can legit make shots. He can find the open man. He can manipulate the defense. He can do all those things. So what I'm saying is Julius Randle a closer today? I think he's headed that way. I think he's on that path, right? But what he needs is more time. And for those that say, well, we can't afford to have more time, yes, you can. Because I saw a dude named Kobe Bryant look like the worst closer of all time, right? Become potentially possibly one of the greatest closers of all time. I've seen Kobe in those situations when he was young, man, make the worst basketball play you ever seen in his life. But he wanted to win. He wanted to win more than everybody in the arena. And I know you can't quantify that, but it sure looked like it.
It's a thing.
Right. And so I think you have to have like that. So here's the thing. Is RJ Barrett that guy? That's something that we should, but since we're talking about Randall, and
weird how we're seeing a guy actually practice doing it, and then like we say somebody else might be the guy who we never see attempted at all. Like, and I dig it because I personally think that, yeah, like judging from how RJ is playing, I think like for the Knicks of the future, RJ and Quigley are probably going to be closer type players.
Right.
I really see that. But I also see like, yo, like your man Randall hit that shot that sent us to overtime.
Right.
That was a well-defended 3-point shot. Dude, it was like a well-defended
in limited space. In limited space.
He created the very limited space that he needed to and step back at that. And I was like,
let me ask a question.
The ability that was he did that twice. He made shots like that twice that game. Now
from the side corner.
But my he shoots. I think it's the number is like he shoots like 70% from that side corner. I really think that like given more time, we will see that Randall is definitely a closing type player.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
Those kind of things, those kind of plays become automatic if you practice them.
Okay, let me ask a question. Let's define closer. Is closer the guy who takes the shot, the guy who orchestrates the play?
I personally look at it as the guy who takes a shot. The guy who orchestrates the play, to me, I put you in the Magic category. Like you're definitely like you're part of the closing sequence. Like you're a necessary part for that closing sequence. But the guy who actually puts the hole in the ball is the closer. I mean, the ball in the hole is the closer.
Right. I'm glad you said.
I think you can say the same thing about Magic.
Okay, let me pick up right there. 1 second, Hootie Kev. You mentioned Magic. Coming into that 85 playoffs championship against Boston, right?
Boston. Yeah.
The year before, they called him Tragic Johnson.
Johnson, I remember that.
Tragic Johnson. That final play when McHale and Parrish jump out on him, if you watch this replay, Kareem is wide open under the basket.
Wide open.
Off the pick and roll, Kareem is wide open. The Magic that I grew up with, that we know and love, 99.9% of the time, he would have passed that ball. But because they called him Tragic and he didn't bring it home the year before,
right?
His ego made him take that shot, right? Because he felt, yo, I'm taking McHale. I'm taking him. There's no way he can stop me. The man takes a running hook shot from 18 feet away when Kareem was under the basket.
Yep.
So again, is it the closer, the guy who takes the shot, or the guy who orchestrates the total play? Remember, even Mike passed it to Paxton, passed it to Kerr.
And Longley and Kukokes.
There are certain people like actually that closing versus non-closing shit that's something exciting to fans. Like that's exciting to us. Or I should say, like, yeah, as a player, you might want to be the guy who has the ball in your hand at the end of the last play. But for real, guys like Jordan are different. Like they want to win the game. Yes, Jordan thinks he's the man.
Like Kobe.
But Jordan, but different than Kobe though. Like Kobe is forcing the last shot.
Yes.
Jordan isn't forcing the last shot if he knows that it's not going to get him the best chance to win.
Well, as time went on, he's not forcing the last shot because in that Cleveland game, 5 defenders were guarding him. 5. All 5 defenders, the moment he got the ball, all 5 defenders rushed to him and he took the shot. Years later, he makes the pass. But I get what you're saying.
I feel like Kobe never got to that point. Kobe always thought that he was the best person on the court for the last shot.
What about when and so let me
God bless
say this about
what about when Jeremy Lin waved Kobe off and Jeremy Lin took the last shot?
What about
that was to me, that was like there's certain moments that I excuse. Like
you should have punched him in the
moments
face.
that's like, yo, like we do this needs to happen for the culture. Like this just needs to happen for the culture. Like that was one of those moments. Like I was like, oh, okay, Lynn, let me see what you got.
Right.
Let me see what you got, Lynn.
Right. And so my thing with the closer is not the final shot. Right. It's not the final shot. With me, a closer is the guy that's gonna secure make sure the lead doesn't go away. But like for instance, 4 minutes to go, we up by 5. The closer is the guy that's gonna make sure that we keep a 5-point lead. You know what I'm saying? Make sure the game isn't close, and if we do make it close, he's gonna be the guy that's gonna pull it out. You know what I'm saying?
I.e. Danny Green and Tobias Harris.
Right. For instance, I'll give you an example of a closer. Right. So to me, I used to watch the Boston Celtics, and I hate the Celtics too, by the way. Right. I hate the Celtics. Right. But you used to see guys eat all second half, like McHale in the post, Robert Parrish getting putbacks, setting them ridiculous illegal screens, Danny Ainge shooting threes, Dennis Johnson coming off dribble penetration. You know what I'm saying? But with 4 minutes left to go in the game, But with 4 minutes left to go in the game, man, it's Larry Bird time. It's Larry Legend. They don't call him Larry Legend, you know what I'm saying, because of the kind of car he drove. They call him Larry Legend because at the end of games, the Celtics have a 5-point lead with 4 minutes to go. And Larry Bird is touching it down the stretch every time. Right? You're gonna give Larry Bird his opportunity to win or lose this game. Right? And it's the same. It's the same with others. Like you used to watch the Spurs, 4 minutes left to go in the game. I don't care if you had Kawhi, you had Ginobili, you had Parker. At the end of games, y'all throwing that ball in the post to Tim Duncan to let him eat down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? And this is until Kawhi became the guy. You know what I'm saying? So the torch was passed. But with 4 minutes left to go in the game, you up by 3, you going inside to Tim Duncan. Right.
But sometimes though, Freezy, not to knock you, Freezy, but sometimes though, you'll have a coach who wants to be too cute.
Right.
You'll have to your point, to that Popovich and Tim Duncan. The last meaningful game that Tim Duncan played in when Ray Allen hit the shot, Tim Duncan was on the bench with the last 30 seconds to go. Tim Duncan in that game in the first half had 15 rebounds.
Right.
We marvel at Ray hitting the shot because Bosh got the rebound over, I think it was Parker or whoever else, guys who are like 7-8 inches smaller than him, right? So he turns, he passes it to Ray Allen. Ray instinctively, bam, backs up, nails the 3.
Right.
If I'm the owner, as much as Pop is responsible for the championships and the glory, I need to sit down. Yep. I need to sit down with you because I need to understand why is Tim Duncan, who had 15 rebounds in the first half of the game, sitting on the bench in the most pivotal part of the game?
Right. Especially when you need offensive rebounding or defensive rebounding. I'm sorry. Well, especially when you need defensive rebounding, but it's like the Seattle Supersonics used to have Lethal Weapon 3. Y'all remember Lethal Weapon 3? Xavier McDaniel, Dale Ellis, and Tom Chambers. So they used to have Lethal Weapon 3. Xavier McDaniel used to eat during the game, and Tom Chambers used to come out hot. Right at the end of the game, though. At the end of the game, they going to Dale Ellis. You know what I'm saying? And to close out games, they was legit going to Dale freaking Ellis, right?
Yeah.
And Dale Ellis was a quality scorer. Xavier McDaniel, X-Man was a quality scorer. Tom Chambers was that dude. He was a unicorn. You never saw a dude 6'10", 6'11", you know what I'm saying, like that, just can jump over a human being, right? And can shoot from range like Tom Chambers. You're like, what is this new power forward? But
he took a backhand shot at Mark Jackson all over again just because he jumped over Mark Jackson. Took a backhand shot.
Wow, it's a throwback.
You remember that?
Yeah. Oh my! He put his knees in Mark Jackson's face. Oh my God.
Wait, that was when Shrimp was there. Shrimp was with them too, right? Shrimp.
Yeah, Shrimp was there.
I think somebody body Shrimp or picked him up and threw him on the floor back then. I forgot.
Yeah,
basketball is really like that's what makes me feel so bad about like the defense that gets played in today's NBA. Like Cats was really having combat back then, yo.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so I just want to throw out this one other thing too. Like Isaiah Thomas was legit eat for 3.5 quarters, right? The Pistons, you couldn't stop Isaiah Thomas, man. Like people legit look at Isaiah Thomas, the executive, and it presents a bad taste in his mouth based on. But Isaiah Thomas legit could have averaged 33 points a game if he wanted to, right?
Get it twisted,
right. But at the end of games, they had this kid Joe Dumars who had ice water in his veins, bro. At the end of games, not only would he defend Michael Jordan and your Reggie Millers, giving up 5 inches, you know what I'm saying? Pause, but giving up the height advantage, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of games, Joe Dumars would hit those shots. He's like, golly, boy, I wish I had a Joe Dumars. You know what I'm saying? So at the end, and I know Isaiah was a closer too, but what I'm saying is in those when the Pistons were up by 1 and the Celtics had just gone on a 10-0 run, the Celtics were down by 11 and they cut the lead to 1. You know what I'm saying? They would run that play. Joe Dumars would come around that screen, and you like, yo, Joe Dumars is wet, right? And they had all these fancy names like the microwave and the worm and whatever what they used to call it, Spider Sally, all these nicknames and all this stuff. But when it came down to crunch time,
is that when Isaiah held the ball and danced around in a circle? He held the ball like, oh.
Yeah.
That's how they beat Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling, man, the closer thing is different. I think it's either you are or you not, and I think Julius Randle is, but he has to discover it because he's never been in a situation where he had to be a closer before. All those other teams that he played for before were trash. They were never in the game close enough. They were never close enough to need a closer. I mean, they played.
And he got tutelage from Kobe Bryant.
Right. And he played in LA, he played for a coach named Luke Walton. Right? And in New Orleans, he played for a coach named Alvin Gentry.
Mm-hmm.
In New York, he played for a coach named David Fisdale, Mike Miller. Right? Now you put him in a situation where he's got a dude that won NBA Coach of the Year, who was coached in MVP before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Thibodeau. Now you get to see if Julius Randle has this stuff internally or not. And I believe that he does, right? Because in order for you to take those shots, in order for you to be a closer, you got to be in those situations. Like when you look at Mariano Rivera, when Mariano Rivera was a starting pitcher, he was trash.
Mm-hmm.
He was trash, right? But you put him in the bullpen and bring him out to be the closer, put him in them high leverage situations to see what he got. He's a Hall of Famer. So that's why I'm saying before we carve out Julius Randle's headstone, I think we should let him live first. Before we start throwing dirt on him being a closer, let him live. Let's see if he can do it, because it may be in there and the opportunity was never afforded to him to do it.
One side.
Can I say something? Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
All right, listen, I want to say something because it makes me think about the movie The Last Dragon. Remember when he was dunking his head in the water
Yeah.
And then he saw the master. He saw his master. He saw everybody else. Oh, you look like a master to me. And then he saw the master. I think Julius Randle saw Kobe Bryant telling him,
right.
Oh, right. I don't know if that makes sense, or if that's an analogy to use. But I think he sees Kobe Bryant in his head. God rest his soul. Yeah, he sees Kobe Bryant telling him how to work and his work ethic, and he provided that. Kobe passed away. The off season, he been working on his game, and we coming into the game. You on the Tibbs? I think he see Kobe in his mind telling him, "Yo, this is what I do. This is what you got to do." I see him seeing Kobe like the master. His master from, you know what I'm saying? Remember he getting the fake belt buckle? Getting the fake belt buckle. He's looking for, remember they went to Some Dung Goy or whatever.
Yeah.
Read that. Player tribute article, yo. He talks about like really like what Kobe's influence is on it.
Mm-hmm.
And not even on his game, on how he approaches the whole thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's not just your game, it's how you eat. It's how you get your rest. It's the environment around you that you have to insulate yourself from to get you to a place. And plus, he did this in a pandemic.
Right.
You away from your family. You training. You can't really practice against anybody, or you're
not playing no team basketball, and the skills that you come back with are very much team-oriented skills. That blows your mind, yo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I say he did a 720.
Right. And my man, and so that lets you know it wasn't just weight room. It wasn't just basketball court. It's film room also.
He literally taught himself what he was doing wrong. Like, I don't even think that cats really look at how phenomenal that is. Like he coached himself for 9 months.
I'm not going to sit here and say that's something I disagree with, that he wasn't playing team-oriented type things. It may not have been structured team, but I guarantee he was out there. I guarantee he was out there playing with other people.
Of course he was playing with other people. That's not like he wasn't playing NBA basketball, brother. Like we see people play. We see people with their rec room videos all the time.
Right. Yeah. With their homeboys.
Ask Frank.
Are you trying to say Mr. Robinson?
Frank got 1 billion of them.
Yeah.
And Frank is nice in them rec room videos. Oh my God. Frank hitting every jumper. He hitting every three. He making every pass.
I'm still waiting for Hoodie Mello to show up.
Right. Because Hoodie Mello was So here's the thing. I wanted to get to since we brought up Hoodie Mello. Right. And so I'm gonna shift gears just a little bit, but it's in the same vein of what we're talking about. Do we underappreciate the Carmelo Anthony years as Knicks fans?
Absolutely.
Do we look at the way that things ended and project that back to the entire time frame?
Yeah.
Or
let me jump in here for a second because it's a topic that's close to my heart. Whenever I hear these revisionist Knicks fans that want to count another man's dollars, okay, they want to talk about, well, he would have came here in the off season, okay? As if and I keep on reminding these fans this one here. There was a looming lockout, okay? There was a looming lockout, and we traded for Carmelo Anthony for a bucket of fries and some wings for a future Hall of Famer who was 26 years old, and the cherry on top of that was he met with New York, he met with Brooklyn during that All-Star break weekend, and he told New York, if you don't make this trade, I'm going to Brooklyn. And how do you know that's true? The moment he went to New York, Brooklyn turned and traded for Deron Williams.
Yep.
All of you Melo haters and revisionists, and we should have waited and this, that, and the third. Stop it. Put it to rest. You don't know what you're talking about.
Is Carmelo Anthony? Is Carmelo Anthony a top 3 Knick of all time?
No.
Yes.
No.
A top 3 Knick?
Yes.
Of all time.
Because
of all time.
You can't say there's 2 automatically, right? You can say Willis and
he's coming out. Remember, he's coming out the background. He's coming out the. That's one.
Willis and Clyde, right?
Clyde.
And then Patrick Ewing is statistically
the
greatest Knick of all time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
What about Earl the Pearl Monroe? That's 3 right there.
I'll concede. Right. I'll concede that.
Melo may not be top 10.
He may not be top 10. I won't concede. That I won't concede.
He may not be top 10.
Melo is almost on the same lines as Bernard King.
No.
There's not that much that separates Bernard King tenure from Carmelo Anthony's tenure.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with that. Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why not. I'm going to tell you why not. Carmelo doesn't have a playoff run that lives in my mind like Bernard's 84 playoff run.
Right.
Bernard's 83 and 84 playoff runs. Bernard beats Isaiah Thomas, who dropped 16 points in 93 seconds in old Joe Louis Arena.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
With 101 degree fever and a head coach that tried to design the last play for someone other than Bernard King. Okay? Bernard takes Boston to game 7. Carmelo doesn't have those on his resume in New York.
He doesn't have those on his resume, but like as individual player and effect on the team, like you have to put him up there, bro. Like he didn't have the team that Bernard King had.
Oh no! Oh, what team did Bernard King have? Rory Sparrow, Williams, Lewis,
Darryl Walker.
Darryl Walker.
Trent loves bringing up Darryl Walker.
Are you crazy?
I'm not saying that he had the 85, the 95 Bulls. I'm saying though, he had a more. I feel like Carmelo never really got extended time with a good enough team to create to establish like a team run. Like you had, it could have been with Amari and them, but like Amari was his own worst enemy.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying, but that was probably about the last time that really like Melo had something around him that he could push. He could help push the whole team to some. And remember, it wasn't really around that time when he first came that the East was so horrible. You know, like it was like during these last. Or I should say, during the most of this last decade. So,
Freaky, I love Melo. I wanted him here. I thought we did him a bad deal.
I didn't want him here. I actually didn't. Melo made
I wanted him here, but his lasting legacy in my mind is Roy Hibbert stopping him at the rim.
Freezy knows how my
boil it down to just that one thing, because then I can
he has to win. He has to win that series because we were the number 2 seed. We had won 14 straight games coming into that playoffs.
It was
he has to. We talk about closers. He has to win that game. He has to win that series.
It was disappointing. It was disappointing. Like I can't even.
Let me jump in here right quick. Hold
on. How you got Tyson Chandler, Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, and Chauncey Billups? That was the squad right there.
Historically, I don't know if that's a historic squad, but I will say this. I ask y'all that because I do think Carmelo Anthony is a top 3 Knick of all time.
Top
3?
He gotta be like 6'7" or in the 10.
That is blasphemy, Uncle Freezy.
Uncle Freezy, what about the guy that was a politician? Bradley?
No, he ain't no top 3.
Not no top 3.
And listen. What about Phil Jackson? There's so many other players before him.
Windmill Phil? No, Windmill Phil ain't top 3. Windmill Phil didn't. Windmill Phil didn't.
From that era,
he didn't even start.
I want to hear this top 3, please. Because I know if you leave him out, Freezy, we gonna have a problem.
We're the older folks. We need the older folks.
Let me hear AD. Let me hear what AD got to say first.
Freezy, if you sit here day in and day out and talk about Walt Frazier, your hero,
right?
Willis Reed has a moment that lives in time for the rest of time.
Right.
Okay?
Was he the MVP of that game? Who was the MVP of that game? Who's the star of that game?
It's Walt, 36, 19, and 7.
Right. Yeah, right.
Right? And Patrick Ewing. How does Carmelo Anthony even get their P.O. box address to get voters for that? Are you crazy, sir? Are you trying to give me high blood pressure on this Saturday?
I think he's trying to. I'm gonna. Please explain, Free. Please, I want to hear it. I want to hear this.
Okay. All right.
I need a drink.
Yeah, I need a drink for this one.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. For one, we have to look at the workload that the individual Knicks had to carry in order to judge their greatness as a Knick, in a Knick uniform, right? So my top 3 Knicks of all time are number 1, Clyde Walt Frazier, right? Number 2, Patrick Ewing, and number 3, Carmelo Anthony, right? And I know the thing about Willis Reed. I love Cap, right? I have Cap as number 4, right? I love Willis Reed, man, and I love what he meant to our organization, right? But in terms of doing more with less, you have to give Carmelo Anthony the nod over Willis Reed. And the reason why I say you give him the nod over Willis Reed is because just the fact that Willis Reed and the guy that I chose number 1 played together, right? You have to legit look at these guys. You have Hall of Famers all on one team. You have your Earl of Pearl Monroe, you have your Walt Clyde Frazier, and you have your Willis Reed all playing on the same team. Now, what they achieved as a team, was that great? Yes. I think the team from 1969 to 1973 played the most beautiful basketball that has ever been played in the NBA, period. Nobody close. Maybe the Golden State Warriors of 4 years ago played a beautiful brand of basketball that may have been in the same stratosphere. But the New York Knicks from 1969 to 1973 played the most beautiful brand of basketball that you have ever seen in your life. And they established certain things. Like they established the hack off the bench. You know who the hack off the bench was? Windmill Phil, right? They established a defensive-minded point guard. You ain't never had that before. Point guards usually, they play deep, but they play more team deep. Clyde Frazier was a lockdown defender in the mold of guys that we know like Gary Payton's, right? So what I'm saying is Carmelo Anthony did more with less than Willis Reed, right? If Willis Reed was in a situation where he had the roster that Carmelo Anthony had, I don't think we talk about Willis Reed in the same prestige and lore and legend, right?
Hoodie Kev, I'm gonna need you to come in here and give this man the same vigor that you night in, night out. Where you talk about Kevin Knox, I'm gonna need you to come in here right now and help Freezy out. Listen, because Freezy got me crazy right now.
Freezy has this thing of when I come at Freezy, he tends to boot me off screen. Like
no, only when you come in and say stuff sideways. Only when you say stuff sideways, like 5 hours straight of Kevin Knox. Then
that's
you get
good entertainment right there. Anyways, moving back to the subject. Let me poke a hole in your argument. You just said
no. Don't poke a hole in my argument. Listen to what I said.
No, I heard what you said, but I can still poke a hole in what you said because
we don't
contradicted yourself.
We don't have to fight if we disagree. If I think one way and you think another way, I don't have to say the way you think is wrong.
No, but I want to question you about. Let me say, I want to question you about something because you just said Willis Reed Okay, you have as the greatest Knick of all time, Walt Frazier. I guess your childhood idol is Walt Frazier.
Yes.
But then you say Willis Reed played with Walt Frazier in conjecture because he had a superior team. But if that is the case, you can say the same thing about Walt Frazier. Because Walt Frazier played with Willis Reed. Just like Willis Reed played with Walt Frazier played with Willis Reed.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Name one other point guard from that era that is not named Oscar Robertson or Earl Monroe. Name another point guard from that era.
Jerry West.
Kev can't name one.
He just said Jerry. Well, Jerry West was a two guard.
He named one. AD named one. I asked Hoodie Kev to name one, and you can't. You know why? Because during that time, it was a big man's era, right? It was a wingman's game back then. It was big man and wing era. You know, so you didn't have elite level point guards all over the place. Like
because hold on, that's not true. Because at the time that Willis Reed rose to prominence, Wilt was on his last legs.
No, we wasn't. My man came in 1966. Wilt was in his prime in 1966.
I said came up became.
Okay, 1969. Wilt was still in his prime in 1969. Bill Russell was still in the league. You know, it's a bunch of guys.
Bill Russell was at the end.
Okay, all right.
Wilt.
Name a point guard in that era.
Wilt was. You can say Wilt was trending towards the end. That when mind you, also, how many players have won regular season MVP, All-Star Game MVP, and Finals MVP in the same season?
Facts.
I'm okay. So where I am is I can't figure out what this has to do with Walt Frazier being number one and Willis Reed being number four. And why is being number four a bad thing?
Because you can legit say that Willis Reed had a better career than Walt Frazier did.
What other okay? So I'll use that same line of thinking. What other potential Hall of Famer did Carmelo Anthony play with for an extended amount of time? I'm waiting. I'm gonna hold my breath while you name it.
None.
Okay. So why would you say it on one hand and not apply it to the other hand? It's
because you would say that Walt and Willis are tied together, right? They're tied together, like Ruth and Gary. They're tied together,
like Chad Pennington and Lavernius Cole. Is that what you're saying, Kev? Chad Pennington, Curtis Martin, and Lavernius Cole were tied together, right?
They were the triplets.
Okay, all right.
But so Willis Reed and Walt Frazier, you can say, became great together. Like, would they be great if they played apart? I don't know. Who knows, right?
They were not great together initially. They were only great together when we brought in Dave DeBusschere.
With him, and he just went missing. Gone for the night. Wow. So the next day, I put up flyers all over the. Around 6 o'clock, Jamal happened to come outside to go ask Kazi for his camera, and the man out here walking the dog.
Walking your dog?
Walking our dog. And Jamal's like, yo, come here. That's my dog.
Hey, Chop is the GOAT. Chop is the GOAT of the live stream.
But I mean, here's the thing about Melo, right? Melo. Well, Freezy, you already know how I feel about Melo. You know my list of Knicks.
No, I don't. You got it. For one, you said it on the Knicks at Night podcast. This is the Knicks Morning Drive.
I'm saying though.
You reiterate your point.
I have and I can only say me myself, right? There's a certain criteria to me you have to meet to be a Knick. Just because you put on the jersey.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Because I know people that wear T-shirts that say "Once a Knick, always a Knick."
Those are just memorabilia.
That is sanitary trade.
No.
So what do you mean by this? No, you're not a Knick thing. This is okay. All right. So all right. So let me table this Carmelo Anthony thing because the topic came up that's more important than what we were talking about. What do you mean by being a Knick?
That's like saying Robin Lopez is a Knick because he's he's not a Knick. He doesn't feel like if he came back to the Garden, he ain't got to get in that ovation. He doesn't have that moment.
Is Courtney Lee a Knick? He played here for 4 years.
No.
Now you said is Allen Houston a Knick? Yes,
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Is Latrell Sprewell a Knick?
Absolutely.
No, that's not fair.
You're doing a certain Grandmama is a Knick.
You're doing a certain era. That's not fair. Because so let me ask you this. Because Courtney Lee played more games than as a Knick as a lot of players did, right? Let me ask you this: is Bernard King a Knick? And he only played 200. He only played 208 games. He played less than 3 seasons of basketball as a Knick, and you're saying that he's a Knick.
Absolutely.
So Kevin Knox has played more games as a Knick than Bernard King, and you're saying that Bernard King is a Knick. Is Kevin Knox a Knick?
For the mere fact that you put Kevin Knox and Bernard King in the same sentence, sure, YouTube should suspend you. You understand what I'm saying right now?
AD, he did that to get at me. AD, he did that specifically to get at me.
For a hate crime.
No.
He tried to come at me personally.
No, that's not a personal attack. That's a fact. Bernard King played 208 games as a Knick, and he's a Knick, right?
Kevin Knox cannot spell Bernard King. Okay,
right? He shouldn't even. I'm here to.
He literally probably can't.
Yeah, let me tell you this, Bernard. Kevin Knox should not even be able to look at Bernard King, right? If he even look at Bernard King, they should take his jersey and cut him, right? That's how I feel about Bernard King. But my thing is, in establishing an argument, you have to set parameters. It can't just be an emotional argument and expect other people to co-sign it.
This is sports, Freezy. It's emotional.
I know.
We're fans. It's from fanatics. We are emotional.
People keep forgetting that.
It's like what I say about John Starks. It's like what I say about Starks, right?
Okay, first of all, let's go back to your original point as far as the top guys. And I said he's not going to be in 10. You're going to put Melo ahead of Oakley?
Yeah. Oh man, are you serious?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oakley? Are you serious?
Yes.
Oakley?
Yes.
Do you remember what Oakley did?
The only people from that era, that Melo can get compared to is Ewing. Is Ewing. And he's not better than Ewing, but he's certainly better than Starks.
If put together,
and I'll ask you this: if Ewing had Melo instead of Starks, we'd have a chip
or two.
That's a whole
that in itself he's better than Starks.
Let's understand something. John Starks, even more so than Ewing, when he put on that Knick uniform. And you know the plays and the times when he would be in his game 6 in Indiana. The Spike Lee game. His game 6. Patrick Ewing scored 4 points in that game.
Right.
4.
Right.
I'm the biggest Ewing fan ever. Patrick Ewing scored 4 points and probably up to that point, the biggest game of his career.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
John Starks drops 26 points and is dapping up Spike Lee on the way out, giving Indiana fans the bird on the way out. Don't you ever in your are you crazy?
Right, and you know, AD, chill, please. Don't bust a vessel.
Are we comparing individual player performances or the whole team?
No. Starks was the ultimate team player. Let's not get that twisted.
John Starks was the ultimate no-brainer. If you're comparing Melo to Starks, I'm taking Melo every time.
Right.
Every time.
We're not talking about as players. We're talking about their meaning to the organization and who's a Knick and who are you gonna and who's a Knick.
I'm not saying Starks doesn't have any meaning, but his meaning is attached to a team that he wasn't the number one option on. I understand that you're describing that one game, that one playoff game where Ewing scored 4 points, but in a general sense, he was not the number one option. As the number one option, Melo is a much better number one option than Starks.
I'm gonna just say this: that 1994. If it wasn't for John Starks catching fire right before the All-Star break in 1994, there would be no Knicks to the championship. To the
You're 100% right.
There is no.
You're 100% right.
Because the team.
But how did they get to that game? How did they get to that game? They got to that game as a team.
Yeah, they got to the game as a team.
So you can't. We want to pull out one performance or you know what I'm saying, one performance. But like, how did the team get to that game for that player to have that one performance? Like, you're talking about a whole playoff team gets to a playoff game, and one person on that team, you know, has a stellar performance, and we're like, oh, like Melo never had a team that got there to that.
But we were talking about earlier. We were talking about closers, right? Right. And how you become a closer and not, and so forth. Melo had a 54 winning team that should have at least been in the Eastern Conference Finals.
At least.
And who messed that up?
The number 3 seed.
Oh, like that's where the conversation takes a pause. Who messed that up? Was it Melo? Who messed that up?
The coach.
Right. So here's my thing. Here's the reason why I don't have Bernard King and Cap in the top 5 or in the top 3. The thing about Bernard King's teams is when Bernard King got hot, he was the most unstoppable scorer in the league. Period. When he got hot, but when he wasn't hot, he was a very good scorer. But what else did Bernard King do for your team? Right. So what else it was Bernard King an elite defender? No. Did he even try on defense? No. And don't try to revise this thing late after all these years. Like Bernard King attempted to play defense because he did.
I'm never going to say that, Freezy.
Right. But not you. I'm not talking about you, AD. What I'm saying is this. And I'm not trying to cut you off or be disrespectful. What I'm saying is what we have to do when we look back.
You have already disrespected me and many Knicks fans out here this afternoon.
Okay.
You've already done so, Freezy.
By saying Melo is top 3 all time.
Oh dear God! Oh my Lord! And you said it again.
Oh my goodness!
Lord, Freezy's just being disrespectful.
No, can I ask you one question to you, Freezy? And I guess this will go against the argument as well. Why is Walt Frazier number 1 and Patrick Ewing is number 2?
Dude, don't make me walk to North Carolina, dog. Don't you ever say no mess like that again.
I mean, I would like to know why is statistically the guy who is statistically the greatest Knick of all time.
Hoodie Kev. I think it's so young.
I think chips make the difference in that particular.
Right, stop being so young, Hoodie Kev.
Boom! No, hold on, Free. This is where I got him. You just said the chips make the difference.
No, in that
you got Willis Reed.
In that particular scenario, I think like the chips is what pulls Clyde Frazier ahead a little bit of Ewing.
But hold on, but can the same argument be made about Melo and Willis Reed?
Yeah.
So why is it Freezy? But here's the thing: Freezy don't got that same kind of But I don't say why is Ewing number 2 to Frazier, but you got Melo behind above Willis.
I don't even need the chips for the Melo versus Willis one, to tell you that.
I'm asking Freezy because you about to light me up just now because I said why is Pat not number 2 to Walt, but you said chips matter. So if you got a guy who has 2 chips compared to a guy with 0 chips, Why is that not taken into account in your argument, Uncle Freezy?
I only hold that for the top spot. Like for me, like the chip matters for the top spot. Like, or I should say your ability to push the team to chips really matter when I'm considering you the greatest. If I'm considering you the greatest, I can't really. I find it hard to put somebody in there that don't got no hardware.
Right. How and so here's the question that I'm gonna ask Hoodie Cav. Because out of respect, because Hoodie Cav is a smart dude, man. No lie. Hoodie Cav is a smart dude. So when we put Hoodie Cav in these conversations, Hoodie Cav go, yeah. Hoodie Cav gonna bring something to this. But how do you put a guy with 2 NBA championships and was a major contributor, Hall of Famer, all-time great, number 2, behind a guy that you often saw choke in a big game?
Often?
May I ask my counter with a hypothetical?
No. It ain't hypothetical. It's real.
No,
because you asked me that. It's not hypothetical. It's real. Because for one, you chose the words that Free Keith said and applied them to me, right? Before you heard.
I was making the argument.
Because
you
asked the question.
Free Keith said anything.
Free Keith already asked the question.
Yeah, I'd already made the statement before Free Keith said anything. That was going to be my initial question before Free Keith said anything.
Right, but my point to it is this: how do you put a guy that revolutionized the point guard position, won 2 championships during another team's dynasty? The Knicks interrupted dynasties to win championships, right? The Celtics had won a bajillion championships in a row, and then the Knicks stopped that by knocking off the Celtics.
Yeah, the Celtics were done. The Celtics were done.
No, they weren't.
In 1969, the Celtics were done. Because remember this, when was the last time the Celtics won a championship, right?
1968. How about that?
68.
Oh, was it 68 or was it 67? Because Philly won a championship in there one year. I can't remember.
Well, think about this. This is how you know they were done. Because the Celtics didn't win another championship until 1982. So from 67 to 82.
No, they won one in 76.
The Celtics?
They were done from 69, because remember, Russell retires in 69, 70. So they were done for like a 3 or 4 year period. I think they beat Phoenix in the finals one year.
Yeah.
They were done, because
Golf Foreman hit that Hail Mary 3-pointer. I mean,
they were
3-pointer, was it? That was
no, it was a 2. It was a 2. But it was Golf Foreman, the former team president of the Chicago Bulls, right? What I'm saying though is this, man. The Knicks interrupted a dynasty because the Knicks interrupted a dynasty, man. Like they legit put an end to it. And the Lakers had lost to the Celtics all those years in a row. That's not, man. Why are we poo-pooing on a Knicks championship? Why?
I'm not, but
why are we discrediting?
This is me. Okay, because you asked me.
We are discrediting the Knicks championship now.
No. You asked me a question.
It's what I'm saying about.
No,
I'm speaking to Hoodie Cav right now specifically.
Yes, and that's
the reason why fans like Hoodie Cav do a disservice to the Knicks overall. It's the reason why a lot of us are frustrated, because you legit just discredited the Knicks championship. Yeah, you did. Because I said the Knicks interrupted a dynasty, and you were like, "Oh no, they were washed anyway." That's what you said, right?
Yeah,
right. But that's discredit. So you're saying because in '68, the Knicks had the Celtics on the ropes and just didn't have enough, right? The Knicks felt like they should have won a championship in '68. For those that you know what I'm saying can remember that time frame, right? The Knicks legit should have been the champs in '68, but they didn't have enough firepower, right? So what they did was, hey, legit, we're gonna stop doing that. We're gonna start spreading this ball more. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stop just having a leading scorer. We're just gonna play this beautiful brand of basketball where everybody touch it, and whoever gets the open shot is the shooter. Whoever gets the open shot is the shooter. And on defense, we're not gonna have one guy try to defend everybody. We're gonna play team defense. Everybody is rowing the boat. Everybody's rowing the boat, right? And so what I'm saying, the reason why Clyde is there is because Clyde was there for all of it. He didn't just have a magic carpet ride. Like, it wasn't a dream season. The Knicks legit had grinded to get to that point, and then they knocked off the Giants. Give us credit.
So let me.
It starts with the captain. You can't. Willis Reed and Clyde says this. The moment Willis walks out on that court, Wes, Chamberlain, and the rest of their team, they were stopped. He said he didn't have to do anything because they were psyched out because they didn't believe that he was gonna play.
Right.
Right.
Because the injury was gruesome.
The
injury was gruesome.
In 1970, the first time, can you arguably say?
Kev, do you know the injury he had? Do you know the injury? So the injury he had is the same thing that had Victor Oladipo out for almost a year, right? It's the same injury, right? The same injury, the upper thigh tear the muscle off the bone. And so they were like, yo, no human being is coming out after that. And the technology and the medicine was way different back then, right? And so not only does Willis Reed come out, right? The Garden loses their mind. And they turn around, they're like, what is that? And they're looking at like as if Tony Stark just entered battle from out of nowhere. Hoodie Cap know what I'm talking about.
And that's why you can't put Melo in that conversation, Freezy. You just can't.
I wanted to talk about the 1969-70 season.
Okay.
Can you legit say now Boston might have had a dynasty, right? But can you agree that they were kind of tailing off though?
No, man, they lost Red Auerbach, remember?
Yeah.
So Red Auerbach retires, Bill Russell retires, and so they still had Sam Jones, Casey Jones. They still had Tommy Heinsohn.
When you lose Bill Russell, you're not the same team.
Kev,
I can't take you as the same threat.
Kev, they had a dude named JoJo White. Do you remember JoJo White? JoJo White had dudes.
Kev does not remember JoJo White. He's 36.
Okay. All right.
I seen Glory Road, so I know who JoJo White is. I know he's a great player.
He wasn't just great, dog. He was an icon. Little dudes that was 6 years old was in every city, every NBA city. Dudes was dribbling the ball like, I want to have handles like JoJo White.
But this is the argument I'm trying to make, right? And it'll all come full circle.
Except me, because I love Clyde.
If you say in 1969, 1970, the Knicks have the best player in the world. Because you can't win three different MVPs.
Nobody said that.
I'm asking, is that a legit?
No. Make your own point. I'm not following you down your road.
So hold on. So a guy who wins. Hold on. So a guy who wins MVP, regular season MVP, All-Star Game MVP, and NBA Finals MVP can arguably consider he was the greatest player in that particular season, right? Willis Reed. Now I say this because if Melo, who never won regular season MVP, and you just named all these great players from one team, right? So Melo's never won regular season MVP. Melo's never won All-Star Game MVP. Never even been to the finals to be considered the MVP of that.
Not even a conference finals.
So in his whole career, Melo's never done that. Willis Reed did that in one season and was arguably the best player in the NBA. There's not one season in Melo's 17 seasons. Not one season in 17 years have you said Melo is the best player in the NBA.
You can't, Freezy.
Yeah,
I need an apology. Freezy, I need an apology.
You could compare. Can you compare Carmelo with Russell Westbrook as great players as they are?
That's what I'm saying. You can't see. This is conjecture because Pat Ewing legit had 4 seasons where he could have been league MVP, but you know what? He played at the same time as a dude named Michael Jordan. Yes. Are you gonna legit take MVPs away from Michael Jordan to give them to Patrick Ewing? No.
But here's the thing.
And so let me finish. So Carmelo Anthony played during the exact time as a dude named LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Drafted and played him in high school, right?
Right. And so how you gonna say Carmelo not having league MVPs is an indictment on Carmelo Anthony when he played during the same time as a dude some people would say is the greatest player of all time? It's not fair.
Here's the thing. Did Willis Reed play with alongside because in 1969, 1970 Wilt Chamberlain was still playing, right?
Name somebody else though.
I'm saying I'm gonna go in. Was Wilt Chamberlain playing?
Name another player.
Was Jerry West playing?
Yes.
So clearly you just named the entire Boston Celtics team full of Hall of Famers, right?
Right.
Was Oscar Robertson playing?
Yes.
And yet Willis Reed. Now I just named a whole bunch of great, all-time great.
No, you didn't. I did. You named three. You named three.
Okay, I just named three. That's enough. Right. One is enough. Wilt Chamberlain should be enough.
Right.
Oscar Robertson should be enough. And I did what Willis Reed won the MVP. So you can't sit here and say, "Oh, well, Melo played with LeBron James." When Willis Reed played in the exact season,
he didn't
play with him, played against him.
He didn't play with LeBron James.
What I'm saying is played with in the same league.
Right.
You said you just said Melo played in the same era as
LeBron
arguably
James.
One of the GOAT. But I guarantee in 1969, 1970, we were saying that Wilt Chamberlain was the greatest player of all time. I guarantee that was probably the narrative in 1969, 1970. And guess who won the MVP in 1969, 1970?
He scored 100 points in the game.
Willis Reed. So your argument is Melo's playing in the same era as one of the greatest players of all time and never won an MVP because this guy was winning them, and then turn around and say Willis Reed was playing in the same era as one of the greatest players of all time, and he still won an MVP. What does that say?
I'm saying objection, Your Honor, because your point, I can't find the relevance. I think I just
you made the argument. You came out your mouth and said Melo played.
When we use MVP as a
when you said your thing and we waited patiently, and then as soon as I started talking, you just cut me off randomly, willy-nilly, because your point was whack. You know what I'm saying?
Kev, you can't compare Kevin Knox to Willis Reed or
an MVP. An MVP doesn't mean best player in the league.
Right.
MVP just means this person was the most valuable player to their team than any other person was to their team. So like we can't use MVP as a balance for like why would this person be able to get an MVP when they weren't
right back
player in the league?
Wait, yo, big bro, Keith, free Keith, hold up. The MVP is predicated on best player of the team or in the league.
No, it's not best player in the league. It's the most valuable player for their team. Like I could be the most valuable player for my team, more valuable for my team than any other player is for their team. But I don't have to be the best person. I don't have to be the best player in the league to get that.
Oh, okay.
It's not the same award. MVP doesn't mean best player in the league.
But how is that? Okay, so MVP is a team player. Quantifiable.
You could quantify it in any number of ways, but like, let's say like LeBron is the best player in the league.
Hold on.
LeBron is the best player in the league for 10 years straight. He doesn't get the MVP. Undeniably the best player in the league. He doesn't get the MVP 10 years in a row.
Wait, Keith, I just saw in the newspaper. James Harden said he's an MVP. He said I'm an MVP.
Jordan is the best player in basketball history. He wasn't getting an MVP every one of his Gold Star years, but still being the best person in the league, undeniably.
But okay, so here's my thing, and I did not watch this.
I'm just saying we can't use MVP as this big bargaining chip between this person can't be better because this person got the MVP over them.
No, because that's why I asked the question. Arguably, in 1969, 1970, can you say legitimately that Willis Reed was the best player in the NBA?
I would say, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'd say no. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's an argument. Well, I should say this. I think that there's an argument there. There's an argument there for that. Meaning that there's an argument there. He very well could be the best person that year. But I'm saying that there's argument that he isn't.
So,
and Will Chamberlain.
No, if you want to say Wilt Chamberlain, this is the thing. His third MVP came against playing against Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
And Will Chamberlain and Conan. Remember Conan the movie? Oh.
So we can sit here and say, head up, Willis Reed and Wilt Chamberlain. Willis Reed won that battle.
Yo, Choplo, I needed that because I'm ready to drive down to wherever Freezy is and hang those three bears and choke the life out of them and everything. Because
why the bears gotta die, man? Damn.
No, I'm sorry. No, this man literally got my waves loose. I'm telling you. Oh, I can't believe, and I'm a Melo fan. I've always been a Melo fan, but you can't put him in that Mount Rushmore of our team with no real team success, with him driving the bus to that success.
I don't put Melo as number. I don't put Melo in any top three. Y'all made the argument enough at the beginning of this whole discussion. Like I can't see Melo in anywhere higher than I can put him in like 5th or 6th place. That's as high as I could go with Melo.
Yeah. That's as high as I can go with him.
And respectably, I think that that's very, very, very high for a guy with no team chip success.
With no overall.
Remember, he gave up in that Western Conference final against Kobe. It's like he just gave up. Like he had no more. Like Kobe's the man. Melo gave up. LeBron would never have gave up.
Well, he was playing on somebody else's team, so I don't care about him playing.
I'm not.
This is the thing. Like I've seen Patrick Ewing go up against Michael Jordan, and I can't ever say Patrick Ewing gave up.
He didn't give up, but like he definitely had some blunders.
Melo gave up, bro. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Yo, Melo looked like he's like, forget it about it. Y'all got it.
All I'm saying is like Melo is a great Knick. And I definitely think he's in the top 10, hands down.
Nah, he's like in the 15.
And that's just production wise. Like you can't get that kind of production out of a guy and not put him like somewhere in that pantheon. Like, yes, it's unfortunate like the way things worked out and there was no chip that was gotten, but like the chip is a team actual effort. I know we like to give it to people like LeBron and this, that, and the other. Like they could bring whole teams to the chip without anybody else's help. But I tell you, everybody is not like that. The chip, getting to the chip is a team effort. So I don't hold that. You could still make it into my top 10 without getting a chip. You can't be in the top 3, I think, without like some sort of chip action. But Melo is definitely in the top 10. Like you don't get that kind of production.
Melo never adjusted his game. Uncle, big bro. He never adjusted his game. He came up with LeBron. LeBron adjusted his game. He was still selfish.
That's what makes you.
LeBron adjusted his game.
Every player will be the greatest player ever. Like that's just it. Those are the things that make LeBron what he is. Like,
and LeBron has a different game.
I mean, that's what makes Melo what he is.
Yeah, but LeBron, you're comparing apples and oranges. You can't do that with Melo. You can't, because here's the thing with Melo. Melo would play better, or he did play better with people to set him up in better situations, a la Miller, a la Chauncey Billups. A la when he had Raymond Felton for a while.
Raymond Felton. I think Raymond Felton was one of the best point guards that he was with.
Yeah, Jason Kidd. He needed that kind of leadership to where he didn't have to worry about setting other people up. Like, I'm going to get him the ball in these areas, and he's going to do his thing, because with Melo throughout his Knicks career, if there's anyone that could start the fire, would be him, because there's many games in that first quarter he'd have 10, 15, 16, 18, 20 before you blinked, because he could get hot and get hot real quick and set you off to someplace else. You see what I'm saying? So he needed that kind of boost, kind of teammate to boost him in those ways. That's not LeBron. LeBron don't need it. LeBron can let everybody else do their thing, and I'll get my 2, 4, 6 as the game is going on, so forth and so forth. And by the end of the game, I've shot 50-something%. I've scored 28, 29. I have 7, 8 rebounds. I have 7, 8 assists, and it didn't look like it, but I was still orchestrating. You can't ask Melo to orchestrate. That's one of the things that D'Antoni did wrong that first or second season when he had Melo. He tried to make Melo, he told Melo, you can average a triple-double. I'm like, yo, dude, that's not Melo's game.
Yo, your boy Melo is probably one of the best ISO scorers that we've all seen in our lives. But the thing about ISO scoring, and I say that he's one of the best because Melo in his prime can score on you from anywhere, under the rim, 4 feet from the rim, 20. That was his threat, scoring, and he didn't. And I disagree with. I feel like he was better with a good point guard, but he didn't need a point guard, and that's what these last. Like I'm gonna say 3-4 seasons of the last 3-4 seasons that we had with Melo showed you. And why we were so horrible, because like Melo his stats will be great, and the team isn't winning. Like, but he is a prototypical ISO scorer. He was not making the next man better.
Yeah, but I also think that's a little bit misleading, because remember that game 1 against Boston, where he passes the ball, where he makes the pivotal play, he hits Jared Jeffries under the rim, and Jared Jeffries does nothing with it. If LeBron had made that play, you would have heard LeBron made the right play, but he didn't take the shot, whatever, but it was the right play. Melo makes the right play. Jared Jeffries, being who he was and will always be, offensively retarded. Excuse me for those who are disabled or whatever. But when he got the ball right there, people were looking at Melo like, why he didn't take the shot? Because the better play was right under the rim from 2 feet away, which is anyone should be able to score from right there, right? So it's not fair to him always to be like he was just the ISO scorer, because there were times when he wasn't just the ISO scorer, but it didn't work out for him.
But that's the same excuse. Like, and again, I am a Randall fan, but that's the same thing that Katz was saying about Randall last year. That it was because like Katz couldn't hit. It was because that Katz couldn't hit why he was playing as selfishly as he played.
Because of Fizdale, though.
So you can't really like divorce. It sucks. It sucks, and you're right. Like, yes, he made the right play to Jeffries at the time, who was right under the rim. But like in that particular scenario, you know your man Jeffries is trash.
Jared Jeffries?
You know Jeffries is trash. Like you probably have just as high a percentage or as low a percentage taking the shot yourself, Melo. I think that's what people were saying. Like, we weren't the only ones that knew Jared Jeffries was trash. Melo knew he was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it was the right basketball play, but my man, you probably had a slightly better percentage taking the shot yourself. Like, we know that.
Yeah. But wait, hold up. You guys gotta relax. Listen, James Harden under D'Antoni. The same kind of system, and he is an ISO player. Can we argue with that?
And he also has no chips.
Oh.
No, I'm saying that ISO stuff is cool. It provides for a very entertaining game. But like, if your team is not set up to win with you being an ISO scorer, all you end up is like you have very good numbers, and your team is always shitty.
But I'll say
because I guess I'm not gonna get my salad messing around with y'all. So I guess I gotta go in my refrigerator and see what it is that I gotta eat. Hold up.
I hope ain't no manwich.
But I'll say this for Harden. I'll say this for Harden. With the Brooklyn team, his point guard skills and him sharing the ball has done a lot more for his reputation and for his overall game, because he's even surprised me in the games that I saw him play when KD was, healthy, which is a whole other story. And all three of them, and even the other pieces that he has on the team right now, he even surprised me. I'm like, dude, he's effortlessly making these plays. Effortlessly. He's not
better than Westbrook.
Dribble some more. Dribble some
facilitating.
More.
Well, I feel like it's unfair how we have judged Harden over the years, because like his gameplay was very much heavily influenced by how D'Antoni really targeted how that offense was going to play. Like, I feel like we're seeing him pass more because this is a different offense. Harden is not as like selfish a player as I believe that we've all painted him. I definitely feel like it was D'Antoni's system that really like that brought that out of like, because we see the difference now in how Harden plays. He's not a bad point guard. He's actually a pretty high level point guard.
I would agree with you if I watched that man in the 1 year with Westbrook. When he didn't have the ball in his hand, he was disinterested, completely disinterested. What kind of teammate is that? I saw that dude.
But I think that was more. Honestly, that's why I say that's why I talk about Westbrook the way I do. I don't think that was a gameplay thing. I think like that was like a him, like he wanted, like Westbrook wanting to be the star, like wanting to shine a little bit more, and that's what I felt like Harden was kind of like this is not the way we play, bro. Like, give me the ball. Like this is.
Yeah, but it has to be. It has to be gameplay. You know why? These are the two guys that concocted coming back together, and you played together during the off season and told management we could make this work. If he didn't go to management and say, well, bring my boy in here, management did everything for Harden. There's no way in hell, excuse my language, there's no way in heck management would have brought Westbrook in there. And to double down on it, they traded their starting center.
Yep.
No, I agree.
I'm with you.
Capella.
I just want the thing though about Melo not being top three is baffling to me, and the respect that we put a lot of respect on other people's names, like we put mad respect on Bernard King's name, right? We put mad respect on Kristaps Porzingis' name while he was here, while he was playing.
Wait, said Porzingis. Yo, Fiji, why you said Porzingis?
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm talking about while he was playing. While he was a Knick. Well, not after the fact. Not when he was a Maverick. Nah, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about while he was a Knick.
Okay.
There were people legit capping for Porzingis, right?
Freezy, I don't know if you heard me, but I got a hit out on all your Bears, your Ducks, and all of that.
Right, I heard you.
I don't know if you heard me.
Right, I was walking through the kitchen.
I'm realistic, and them bears and ducks and whatever else you turtles and frogs and whatever else you got in your house, because you, sir, are driving me bananas here today, sir.
Right, but the thing is though, here's the thing.
Bad news, Bears.
Here's the thing. So you said Carmelo Anthony is not top three, right? But you didn't say named all the people that were in front of him. We named one person, right? But nobody said, well, if he's not top three,
I named
who is
three.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to stop Melo from being in the top 10?
I'm gonna take Monroe. I'm gonna take Oakley. I'm gonna take Starks.
Ewing.
No, I already mentioned Ewing.
What are we doing now?
Top 10 Knicks.
Right. I said Carmelo.
Somebody put Charles Oakley in top 10 Knicks.
Yep. AD just said it.
Yes.
AD just said it.
Yes.
He said Starks also.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Remember Oakley fighting in the morning? They was throwing punches and nobody landed anything. Yeah.
I did.
So the thing is, of every era of every golden era of Knicks basketball has a stretch in between where you have a bunch of do-nothing guys, right? Every era of Knicks basketball that you like, whether it's the 70s Knicks that I love, right? Whether it was the 90s Knicks that I love, whether it was the 2000 Knicks.
You skipped the 80s Knicks. You said 70s and the 90s.
I know, but
I think people confuse team makeup, like the spirit of a team, with like individual players. Like, there's no way in hell Charles Oakley is a top 10 Knick. No way in hell. However, the 90s Knicks was a top 10 Knicks squad. So I understand how people emotionally confuse the two, but there is not one skill set besides goonery that you could point to for Charles Smith that is top 10.
Charles Oakley.
Charles Oakley.
What about Mason? If you're gonna put Oakley, you gotta put Mason in there too.
I hate to have to do that because I feel like Mason was more.
They was both bullies,
but Mason was more talented than Oakley. Like, for real.
Yes, he was.
Like, you never saw a big man with a lefty handle like Mason. Like, I watch Mason is literally the reason why I'm a Knicks fan.
He's from Queens. He's from where you from? He's from Queens.
I watched him as a shorty on the streets of Queens in basketball courts. And I was amazed that this big dude was so graceful and fluid. Like, this big, ugly Mo was like, he was the most graceful thing around. And then when he made it to the NBA, I was baffled. Like, I was immediately a Knicks fan.
Right.
Also, God rest the dead.
The young legendary.
God rest the dead.
This thing got the ninja shit. Look.
Cool.
I want to put my ninja on for you too.
Let me ask you this question, Freaky. Who is the heart and soul behind that defensive mantra that Pat Riley came in with the Knicks, those early 90s? Who was
Charles Smith? I mean, Charles Oakley?
No, man, it's no.
Charles
it's
Oakley. No. I'm not gonna deny that. But the backbone of that defense was goonery, my guy. The defense that Charles the defense that they were running, the defensive team that the Knicks were then would get ejected every night now.
Right.
Yes.
Every night.
Right, but every night. But it starts though, because here's the thing.
So I can't count that as like world beating. Your boy Oakley, yes, he was very menacing. And if there was a Hall of Fame all back alley goonery team, he would definitely be first ballot Hall of Fame.
Right. And there was a time that the Knicks legit rolled out Doc Rivers, John Starks, Xavier McDaniel, Charles Oakley, and Patrick Ewing.
And they were winning games with two guys who actually had skill, and the rest of them was goons.
Right. And so the thing I would say is this: I think Starks is the heart and soul of that defense, and I'll tell you why. Right? Because when you look back at the power forwards of the day that Oakley had to defend straight up, you looked at Carmelo and Charles Barkley, but you played them a total of 4 times a year, not including the playoffs, right? John Starks played shooting guard. And
I need some more. No, you gotta put some. You gotta put some more on that list. You gotta put. Okay. You already mentioned Tom Chambers. Mentioned Tom Chambers, Horace Grant, I need some more. Terry Cummings. I need some more.
Chris Webber. Your Chris
Cage. I need some more on that list.
Right. So you're Sean Kemp's.
Your Sean Kemp's. Oh, I need a lot more on that list. Yeah.
Right. I just
Orlando. Buck Williams.
What's your man from Orlando with the shoulders? Or was it
from
Miami?
Orlando
or Miami?
You talking about PJ Brown?
Nah. He had the liver. He had the kidney issue or liver issue.
Brian Grant.
Why I always forget this dude's name?
Okay.
When I say the name,
TJ Brown threw Charlie Ward over the
Well, let me ask you this.
Are you about Tom Gugliotta?
Yeah,
that's the only person I know of a liver issue is Tom Gugliotta.
But my point is though in the Eastern Conference, in the Eastern Conference alone, right? The Knicks had to defend Drazen Petrovic's, Michael Jordan's, Reggie Miller's, Joe Dumars', right? And just in the Eastern Conference alone, that's what John Starks had to face on a nightly basis.
Alonzo Mourning.
Oh, you said Orlando. That's why you threw me off. Okay.
I mean, I said the wrong team.
You must have been Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah, and so, but
also Larry Johnson is on that list of power forwards. Freezy.
Yeah.
He was in Charlotte with Muggsy. Yeah.
Larry Johnson.
As much as I love John, those guys used to give John the business.
Right. And so
let's not get it.
John was whack. He was just aggressive. He was just a competitor. He was whack though. But
Choplo, let me ask you this. Because this is the conversation that I always get with Knicks fans, right? They say Starks used to get done by Jordan, right? So question number one is who didn't?
Not just Jordan, everybody else. He was just aggressive and had the heart.
He didn't get done by everybody else, man. My man was a great defender. It's just my man.
He was a good defender. I'm not gonna say he wasn't. He was a good defender, but you're talking about guys that used to also give him the business. I remember a night, Rice from Charlotte. Rice came to the Garden, and I think he dropped, was it either 41 or 46? And they asked him after the game, what sparked him, and he was like, that young man started talking.
Yeah. And so Glenn Rice is 6'8". Glenn Rice is 6'8", 225, and John Starks is 6'3", 210. Right?
Now we didn't talk about physical attributes now.
No. What I'm saying is what I'm getting at though is this: you got more out of less with John Starks. We know John Starks was not a first round pick. John Starks was not a lottery pick talent, right? Nope. John Starks was not pedigreed. He was none of this. John Starks. And if anybody in here ever had a dog,
he came off the street on the team.
John Starks was a junkyard dog. He didn't come from the breeder. You know what I'm saying? His parents.
I left him in wrestling too. The junkyard dog.
Yeah, he didn't. John Starks. His lineage didn't come from a breeder 7 generations back. John Starks was legit a junkyard dog, taken off the scrap heap, and wound up playing 10 years in New York, giving everything he had with the little talent. Now, imagine this. What if the kid from Kentucky, the young light-skinned kid from Kentucky, I forget his name, had the heart. Kenny Skywalker. You remember Kenny Skywalker?
Oh,
what if Kenny Skywalker, with all that athletic ability, had the heart of a John Starks? What type of player would that have been? Right?
We would remember him favorably.
Right.
Kevin Knox is Kenny Skywalker. Sorry, Kev. Right?
I knew it was coming.
I'm sorry, Kev.
But my point is I'm not throwing shade at Knox, right? What I'm saying is John Starks did more with less. Charles Oakley went to HBCU and was the all-time leading scorer for his school. Right? Charles Oakley was was a first-round pick. You knew Charles Oakley had talent, right? And his talent found itself to the NBA. He was kind of like a double machine and defender, right? But the cats like John Starks and the Anthony Masons, who took the rough road, right? They didn't come down Main Street to Madison Square Garden. They took the rough road back alley to the Garden and wound up staying. Right?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying that Starks is a top 5 Knick all time. That's not what I'm saying. Right? And I'm not saying that Oakley is not deserving of being a top 10 Knick all time. Right? What I'm saying is in this line of who I feel like is the better player, I feel like Carmelo Anthony with less did more. Because if you pick Starks and Oakley and Ewing, you have 3 guys from the same team, the same era, right? They played together, so that workload was not as heavy because you had 3 guys sharing the workload, whereas Carmelo Anthony had a rotation at point guard. He had a rotation at shooting guard. He had a rotation at power forward. He had a rotation at center. There were no lifelong Knicks guys coming in playing with Carmelo. Legit, the only guy that was sustainable that you can remember is probably Charles Smith. Right? Amon Shumpert was here.
Man, Charles Smith was back.
Not Charles Smith.
Oh,
J.R. Smith.
No, I said J.R. Smith.
You said Charles Smith.
But the chat. Listen, the chat. They said Jamal Crawford. Somebody said Zebo.
Zebo was gone, bro.
No,
remember Zebo threw the water on the towel at Nate Robinson?
Nah, he didn't play with those guys.
Yeah.
No, but you talk about greatest players on the Knicks. That's what we talking about.
No, I'm talking about the Carmelo era. I'm talking about the Carmelo era with J.R.
Okay.
And some Landry Fields, some Amari Stoudemire.
Landry Fields. So you can't even throw Zebo in there?
Zebo didn't play with Melo.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, we talking about playing with Melo. Okay.
With Melo, yeah. What I'm saying is
Tyson Chandler was here for some years with Melo.
Yes, right, he was.
Tyson Chandler was what, here 3 years?
3 or 4, maybe. I don't remember.
3 or 4.
Right.
No, 2 or 3.
2 or 3. He won Defensive Player of the Year here, and then we wound up trading him to Dallas for Shane Larkin and some mess. Right. What I'm saying is right. And so what I'm saying is the Carmelo years, you have to give a man extra credit for the roster always turning over and head coaches.
Yeah, that can't. But you're elevating him so high. You're elevating him so far up the ladder because of management's incompetence.
Okay.
I love Carmelo Anthony. Don't get me wrong. I love Carmelo Anthony, but the parallel between Carmelo is Carmelo and Bernard. Okay, doing more with less. Look at Bernard.
I can see that. So what do you rank Bernard?
My man, hold up.
What do you rank Bernard?
You see, I'm a little bit biased with that because that was like really and truly my beginnings of basketball understanding and play calling and stuff like that.
Right.
And he was just, they would have 3 guys hanging on him.
Yep.
And he had everything offensively.
Yep.
Defensively, you're right. He wasn't a great defensive player. I wouldn't even make it. But neither was Melo.
Right.
Neither was Melo. But offensively, when you see them doing what they do in baseball, the shift.
Yeah.
Which what they used to do to Bernard, they would shift the whole defense. 3 guys would try and guard him. One from the top of the key, the lower box, and the man guarding him. They would do that box and one type of move, and you couldn't stop him. You really couldn't stop him. And if he didn't have for him, and I'm not saying something that he himself didn't talk about, if he didn't have his own internal demons, and if he didn't have that leg injury,
the
knee injury and his own internal demons is what cut short his career from being that top tier dude that he was.
Right.
Okay, so that's the parallel right there. And like I said, Melo has a great Boston series when he took over, when Raymond Felton was shaky with the ball in that closeout game, and Woody was, when they up 26 in the fourth quarter, and Woody doesn't know what the hell he's calling, and guys or whatever, and he became the point guard and he was finding shots. That's his moment for me. Like in that particular series, he finally started, paying the dividend to why you traded for a young superstar. But that's one series.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, regular season is great, but for a lot of Knicks fans, and I'm sure if Knicks fans are being honest, that Hibbert, that getting stopped at the rim against Hibbert right there put a major sour note in a lot of Knicks fans, if we're being truthful.
Right. That's right there.
Go back to that nonsense.
That right there is a point. That right there is a point in history. It's a line of demarcation. Carmelo getting blocked at the rim by Roy Hibbert, right? And also earlier in the game, another line of demarcation where we knew something had to change was when they called the foul on Iman Shumpert for fouling Paul George on the three. When the video replay showed that Iman Shumpert never even touched Paul George, we knew right then that we were not going to get respected as an organization. When the other team young star is getting fandom calls over your young star, you kind of know right then that they were getting favors. So, but anyway, gents, I got to wrap it up, man.
I was about to tell you, Freezy, I gotta go. It's been a pleasure with all the gentlemen today. Hoodie Kev, Chop Low, Free Keith, all of you guys, man. Freezy, I'm still gonna put you on suspension. I gotta put you on suspension, Freezy.
For Melo being top three.
That is blasphemy.
It is blasphemy.
I don't.
Yeah, that's blasphemy,
But okay. Before we wrap up, tell me where you rank Melo, and then tell me the people that are ahead of him.
6, and I'm putting Bernard. And 1, 2, 3. Bernard.
You want to bring some paper now? It's too late.
Starks.
No, I'm not gonna bring it. It's too late. I got paper in the car left over.
Starks and Monroe. So at least ahead of him.
Okay. I would probably say Ewing, Frazier, Reed, Monroe.
King.
He's probably tied. The only reason I give Melo a nod before Bernard is because Melo was here longer.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Hey, so just to the virtual chat and everybody watching, make sure y'all check out the online store, the Blorange Tears swag. The swag collection is called No Swag Left Behind. It's where you can go purchase your Blorange Tears apparel. I'm going to be on tonight at 11:45 sharp to talk about the Bucks game and the Knicks at Night podcast. They legit are on fire. They basically take this branding thing to a whole new level. They feel like the Knicks at Night podcast is the mothership of Blorange.
Kev, I'm gonna come invade that podcast, Kev.
Listen, this is not my podcast. This is everybody's podcast.
Everybody, yeah. It's
I just happen to be
the leader.
Dude, I went to sleep
I'm like
one
the
night.
Patrick Ewing of this ragtag bunch. You know, I got my Oakleys.
I went to sleep one night. I woke up and Kev was still at it. I'm like, yo.
About Kevin Knox.
For real.
Hey, Freezer, did you get that message on Twitter I sent you?
I may have. I don't want to acknowledge it.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, y'all. Hey, everybody, thank y'all for coming through. Check out the No Swag Left Behind apparel. We're gonna holler at y'all tonight, 11:45 for the Knicks at Night podcast. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.